Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you here. Hopefully, you had yourselves a good weekend. I certainly had a nice, quiet one, which is good. Today is a kind of slightly overcast day, but it's okay. I have a nice hot cup of coffee, and I'm sitting here with a bunch of friends, and we're going to play a role-playing game, which is really, really good. My dog is still alive, by the way, barely. Aw, but anyway, that is the cycle of things, I guess. But we're going to be getting into Umbral session 13 today, starting with case file number 7. Ooh. Moving along, and this campaign setting we have is rolling up here. We're starting to get toward the end game of it. Now that doesn't mean we can't continue and do other things with the campaign with inside of it, of course. But the main story campaign is starting to get there. We're kind of in a countdown, I'd say, and that's great. I've enjoyed this story so far. How about you, GOP?
Oh, I'm having fun. It's definitely up there. It's good.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. It's a good epic story, but there are a lot of little nuanced things that we could do as well. But one of the problems with doing it this way, and I think Bill's having all his little miniature creations that he frantically built week to week helped us. But we were inside a campaign as well. But one of the problems with online is the randomness, right? The difficulty of the randomness. So it tends to be a little more linear when you're online. And by people's suggestion, I've checked out a couple of other, online gaming stuff, and it's all extremely linear. And I think it's just the internet is restrictive of that. Now, TSR, not TSR, sorry, WotC is promising some new awesome online D&D playable thing that they're probably going to charge you $580 a year. So get ready for it.
Probably.
Hi, Five Flux Flying Saucer. Hi, Ethereal Dragon.
Hey. But yeah, it's I heard they're gonna be doing some with like AI DMs and stuff, so if you have absolutely no friends and you still want to play D&D,
Mm-hmm.
hey,
Hey,
there's an option for you.
you're
You just
good.
spend a ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's always going to come to that, down to that. And the sad thing is these are people who are running it, like in many other things, who hate you. So joy, yeah, go buy more of
it's
their stuff.
it's gonna
But
be a woke DM, a woke AI
it
DM.
is, it is, right, right. Did you assume my gender? Yes.
Well, I assumed you weren't a half anything because we can't do that anymore.
Oh, it's so bigoted, narrow visioned, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh well.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about those idiots. We're here to have some fun. We do have Puffin back. Hello, Puffin. You are still muted, by the way.
Hello.
And to start off with today, we're going to round out his character and get to know his character a little bit because he is going to be thrown into the mix. I have been assured that the tower will show up because it's kind of good. The remaining sessions are a bit essential that tower be here, which
I
I
mean,
love.
we did pick him to carry the
Yes,
great sword.
and I wondered why.
Well, I mean, none of the other characters in the group at the time were combat oriented, so it made absolutely no sense for us to do it. He is the only one.
But the sword
You know,
makes you
it makes you
combat
better.
oriented.
But yeah, it would have been hilarious if my character did have the sword.
And it would probably turn me into a guy, and I am definitely not a guy.
I don't think that's one of the things it does.
No,
I know, but I didn't like the idea of
Anyways,
killing
there have been
innocents.
female champions before.
Mhm.
And we've taken a few liberties with certain things like Arthurian legend stuff, and that's okay. Poetic license, right? But anyway, let's get into getting Puffin's characters rounded out here, and then we can get into today's gameplay. So, Puffin, first thing, let's get an idea for what your character is. So, if you've chosen a name, I'm assuming.
Yes. Jero.
Jero, okay. And tell us a little bit about Jero. Where is he from? How old is he? I mean,
Um,
keep in mind that this game offers open-ended variety of those kinds of things, right?
The original idea was Jero was actually from a long time ago. Ancient warrior who fought less than natural enemies, and they cursed him, and he basically froze in ice. And then recently, he was basically discovered and deposed from his place, but the things still torment him in his nightmares.
Okay, so it's Captain America, Umbral version. Sweet. I can go with
It's
that.
sort of like Captain Conan.
Captain Conan. Okay, very good. Um, Man o' War, another good example.
Mhm.
Um, excuse me. Yeah, good. Sounds good. All right. So, what time period was he in then?
Um, Basically, sort of fictional prehistory.
Okay, so we're talking now. That could be interesting, actually, for where we're coming into now.
He,
So, if you can I ad lib a little bit?
sure,
All
it's
right.
your game.
Maybe we should put down that your character is Atalani, and
Okay.
uh, you were one of the Titanic, meaning referencing Titans, but the realistic version of what they were. You were one of the Titanic. Say, maybe you had a famous parentage, possibly, if you want. But you're one of the Titanic. You're Atalani. That could be useful. And you were on ice for let's say not that long. Let's say you were on ice for well, it's up to you. You could be on ice for as long as you want. But let's say they thawed you out a couple hundred years ago, 250 years ago maybe, because you were needed or someone discovered you or something. You were involved in the last war, and you've been banging around ever since. That would be very useful for the story, actually.
All right, that sounds good. And it would keep up with the power that I regenerate, that I'd still be alive.
Right, and the fact that you're just wickedly powerful. I mean, we've been along with these guys for 7 case files and 13 videos, so they've grown during that time. But your character is already powerful, so
Cool.
yeah,
Sounds
no, it
good.
makes sense. All right, so we have that. So we have an understanding who Jero is. What does he look like?
Jero is a tall, sort of more pale complexion, long red hair. Used to wield two axes that were kind of bound to him, so he's. But I got a image for you.
Oh, you do. Sweet.
Yeah,
Yep.
AI is a
I have
wonderful
access.
thing.
AI images are a wonderful thing.
They are. They are, dude. No, it is. And I run an art show, and I try not to talk about it.
I wouldn't if I was there. So yeah, you just
Uh,
posted it in general.
Yeah, I see. I see it here. So
a
yeah.
barbarian in a suit.
No, I love it. I love it. I wish I had it earlier. I would have integrated it into the thing. But that's okay. Let me do this. Let me bring this over, and I can show the peoples. The
Yeah, you're
peoples
not
are
screen
seeing it.
sharing it.
No, I'm not for you, but the peoples can
Yeah.
see, and that's all
No,
that
I know.
matters. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Because I will be screen sharing here in a minute, but I can't share that at the same time. Looks good though. This is perfect, dude. Nice. AI art, boy, it is coming along, man. I've
Yeah.
been fiddling around with that too, and I wonder
If
if
you want.
there's money in that.
There is, if you want, because so what I've done in research is the Copyright Office says you cannot copyright an image that wasn't made by a person, so you can't copyright AI.
Huh?
Images you make would, I believe, belong to the parent company that owns the AI that made the image.
That
But
sounds
what I
fishy.
use is called Wombo Dream. That's what made this image.
Uh huh.
And they say if you cite Wombo, they give rights to users that with prompts. So if you cite Wombo, I have the rights to this image. Not necessarily a copyright, but where it can and can't be used, I assume.
That sounds very fishy, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we know how
We're
they
at,
are.
we're in
Uh,
new waters here. Very uncharted.
yeah, no, it is interesting. It is interesting, but there's a lot of interesting things going on in the world today. Most of them not positive, but this one, I don't know what it is yet, but it is cool. That's good. Look at that image; it's really neat. Like I said, I haven't used the Wombo, but I've tried the kind of standard ones, and yeah, it's definitely coming along. And the thing I think is funny, these companies that are putting out these AI things, they're basically using the public for their database creation, right? And
Hmm.
Yeah.
and people are paying for their privilege. I love it when business people just dupe the entirety of the universe. It's great.
Well, I mean, there are still a lot of free programs out there. Don't get me wrong, but
Even that,
yeah,
it's still doing the same thing. Yeah. But
yeah.
anyway, we got Jaro here. Jaro is modernized himself. He's and he's certainly no longer he's no longer a an anachronism. He's been running around a couple hundred years, so he's integrated himself in the modern world. Nice. All right, so we know what he looks like. We know a little bit of his history. Tell us, what does he do?
What Jero used to do in in the original backstory was kind of a, I guess the way you'd put it is a Lovecraftian hunter. He knew that there were things that were behind magic or the things that were plaguing his tribe or his people that they couldn't see or couldn't, fight. And, he was kind of shunned away. That's why he has a low social, because he said, look, these things are real and I'm going to kill one and I'm going to show you. But he never really got that chance because they froze him.
You want to go back that far? Okay, you can do that. I'm not going to interfere with that, but I could offer suggest. No, it could be cool. But either way, let me somewhere around that time the reason why I suggested the Atalani time.
Ah,
It
okay.
was let me tell why I suggested, and then you make your decision. Okay, was because it was around that time that the various factions started organizing themselves, and it was that that prehistory point where humanity started to come to understand what happened beyond the veil. And this is where a lot of the magical orders and stuff kind of began their journey. And it's brought us to the modern day where you have complete, bureaucracy involved in the policing of the veil, right? That's where we are now. But back in that
Mhm.
time period is when those things are starting to organize. So your character could have been one of the early humans that were starting to realize something more was going on and got involved, and then got froze as you suggested, or could have been involved in the initial creation of some early factions. Either way, but that's why I suggested that, because that's when that stuff started, and here we are, 20,000 years later, and it's full form, right?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, just being around in that era, being one of the, first people, and then, they're like, well, maybe there was something to him. Where'd he go?
And then they dug you up a few hundred years ago. Perfect.
Yep.
Yep.
A tower.
All right. Then we got
Hey,
Tower here.
Tower.
Good. So we have that, and most of his mechanics have been worked out. The only thing I think we had where Tower, not Tower, where GOP had left it is the ability. Now you wanted super strength, easy enough. So and he wants regeneration. So one of those is innate. The other one is artifact based. Now I see you got a belt on. So that
Hmm.
belt could or the bracers, or I don't
Are
really
the
care,
buckle.
whatever. But one of those powers is going to come from an artifact, and the other one is going to be innate. So you want regeneration and super strength, excellent. So which is which?
I I think for flavor that um he could have innate super strength, and the belt is what gives him regeneration.
Okay, sweet. So we're going to write those up like that. Ethereal Dragon, I believe those are axes. Okay, and we already dealt with those axes. Signature asset, we did that before. We're into abilities now. So, your super strength is innate, and those start at a D6. This is going to change, but go ahead and write down super strength D6. Okay.
All right.
And GOP, I'm assuming you have the book open. Can you tell us what does he get from that array?
All right, I got it right here. Let me just scroll down to super strength. So here we go. Almost there. There's super senses. Wrong one. Super strength. All right. Let's see. So his options under super strength are spend a PP to perform a fantastic feat of strength. Okay.
Right.
Spend a PP to throw or knock another character out of a scene.
Nice.
Spend a PP to pound on the ground, creating a shockwave that knocks over everyone in the scene. Spend a PP to break through a wall, even a brick or stone wall, to grab a target or object on the other side. And then the last option is spend a PP to wield a large inanimate object like an automobile as a weapon.
Right, right. Now, keep in
Fantastic.
mind that some of those things don't affect certain magical things, and some of
Hmm.
those things are not going to affect bosses. You
Of
can't
course.
you can't spend a PowerPoint to knock the boss out of the scene, obviously,
Hmm.
right? You can't knock down a magical barrier that easily. You might be able to, right?
Hmm.
But keep in mind with the ability, you have super strength anyway. I mean, so
Hmm.
it's always kind of applying, and that's kind of a power that when you go into combat, we're trying to put a pull together. Well, if you're striking with a melee weapon, which you are,
Hmm.
super strength, you would think that would apply to the pool, so it does. So it's always in
Hmm.
effect, and you always have strength. These are things that are above and beyond spectacular moments you can do. You're going to get one of those automatically, but hold on what you choose because you're going to have more. And then regeneration, I know is very simple, but go ahead and read it.
Oh, before we get to that too, there is an inherent thing with super strength. This isn't like one of the things you have to pick. So
Yeah.
when facing another character with super strength, oh, so they also have super strength? That's weird. You may spend a PowerPoint to counter an special effect they use against you. This makes it into a contest. I'm assuming it's your super strength, not not the other character having to have super strength. That'd be kind of
No, no,
ridiculous.
it probably means that because all of these abilities are inherently in effect all the time. The
Hmm.
power points are just kind of above and beyond special things. So, like I just said, his super strength is going to add to his combat pool all the time, right?
Yeah, no. I get that. I'm saying this is giving you an extra thing where you can spend a PowerPoint to basically counter a special effect that an enemy is using against you.
Yeah,
So
another
you can
super strength person.
cancel,
Yeah, makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah,
And
makes sense.
this one comes automatically, so it's not like one of the ones he has to pick from.
Right,
This is
right.
something
Yeah, that
that's
makes
inherent.
sense. That's good. Thank you. So that's in effect anyway, but you're also going to get to pick some here in a minute. And then
Awesome.
regeneration, real quick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Regenerate. Uh, let's see. So, um, you can include the ability die when your regenerative ability would let you successfully struggle through painful or harmful situations. Okay, that's meh.
Oh,
Now
resistance.
the ones you can pick from are spend a PowerPoint to recover stress or complications caused by injury fatigue.
Hmm.
So that's
Heal.
instant
Yeah.
recovery. Yeah.
Mhm.
Spend a PowerPoint to recover stress or complications caused by fear or anxiety. So I'm guessing if an enemy did like a fear effect on you, you could resist that. Spend a PowerPoint to grow back a severed limb or other body part.
Right.
Spend a PowerPoint to cure yourself from any ailment or disease.
Hmm.
Or spend a PowerPoint to return from the dead. You must step this ability down a step as a consequence.
Right. It's a penalty to that because it's so extreme. But all right. So it's very self-explanatory, right? So
Mhm.
just write those both down. Super strength and regeneration. They both start at D6, and you've chosen the regeneration to be the belt. Okay.
Mhm.
So now what we need to, so that's done. So now what we need to do is spend your experience points. You have 50 of them.
Okay.
And matter of fact, could you go ahead and share that page, GOP, and we'll bring that up and we'll take a look at that. Let me get off his image real quick.
Oh, okay. Let me
Yeah,
move this back because
because
it's on
well, you
the
have the
screen.
page open, so
Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
Give
I
me one
don't.
sec.
And
Screen. Cortex Prime. Here we go.
all right, so you can go ahead and click on his share screen here, and we can take a look at this page. So that's not where we need to be, though. GOP.
Where are we going?
We're going to experience points.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
Let's
you
go
got to have
back up.
50 of these to spend. And this just represents your life up until now, and it's about what they are at. So here we go. So if you look at here, now I just gave you those two abilities. They're sitting at D6, right? And all
Right.
the other abilities you have your dice. They're applied, and basically
Hmm.
you can spend experience points to up those dice. Now to not complicate it because it gets into for 5 experience points, train a new specialty at expert level. Sure, you can do that. Unlock a special effect. You can add a special effect to something. Add a D6 signature asset. Nice, you could do that. So you could have some where you did your axes. Maybe you got some other magical item. Upgrade
Hmm.
an existing trait from 6 to 8. Now, 10 goes from 8 to 10. 15 experience points goes from 10 to 12. And 20 experience points is when you're getting into like mastery of specialties or grand mastery, or taking things to like 12 level for like assets and things like that. But in general, it's 5, 10, 15 to go from 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12. You have 50 points to spend on your character to upgrade them, right?
Right.
Um, so you should do that now. Obviously, those two powers need to be higher than they are, so they're going to have to be upped. But you also could make yourself better. You can make one of your stats higher. You could add some more skills. You could add some more specialty. Well, not skills, but well, no, you could up the dice on the skills. You could add more specialty to those skills by spending the experience points. And it's really, really simple. 6 to 8
Hmm.
is 5. 8 to 10 is 10. 10 to 12 is 15 experience points. So you have
So it
50.
And
so
if
it's
you want
30
to,
points to take it up to 12.
What do you say?
It'd be 30 total points to take my, say, super strength from a D6 to a D12.
It would be so it's a 6. So it'd be 5, 15, 30. You're exactly
yeah.
right. Yeah.
And also, if you want to increase something that's already at a 4, it's only at a 4, and you want to bump it up to a 6, I think it's still 5 XP.
Yeah.
That's the way we've been doing it.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
that's true.
I'll
That is
def
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll definitely spend 5 XP to increase my regeneration to a D8.
I would
And then
also
I'm
recommend too. Sorry to interrupt you, but um, the I would say maybe switch out because we did your signature asset. Since you have 50 XP to spend, maybe move those 2 points you spent into your axes
Mhm.
and move those into something else, and then just spend 20 points and 20 XP and get a D12 asset. At this point, I don't know why you wouldn't. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, that would just make more sense.
So
Okay, so
what
I've
he's saying is spend 1 point to bring the regeneration up to an 8, and then spend
mhm.
one somewhere else. Because he's basically
Mm.
saying you get a free upgrade for a single point, is what he's saying. It's cheaper.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so
So I'll since I got the 2 points back, I'll just put one in super strength, one in regeneration, so they're both at eights.
so they both start at 8s. All right, cool. So do
Mm.
that. Spend 20 points to bring your axes up to 12, which you had already.
Or, yeah, 20
Mhm.
XP.
And now you
Yeah.
have 30 left. And
Mhm.
you could just take the super strength back up to 12 and be done.
Okay, that would be so
Actually,
from
no, it
D8.
would be cheaper.
No, no, you wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't be
Yeah.
done because you still have stuff left.
So 15.
Um,
So yeah, you'd still have 15 points.
Okay, I'll do that.
No, you'd have 5 points. Sorry, you have 5 points
yeah.
left. Yeah.
I think with the 5 points, I would improve my let's look here.
if you want to focus it all that much too, because I mean you can spend stuff on other stuff in your skills as well. It's up to you.
It's
But
all
I
good. I
definitely
think
think getting the D12 signature asset with your axes would be very
Oh yeah,
useful at this.
God level. Yeah, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think I'll spend the 5 remaining XP to improve my focus from a D4 to a D6.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Hi, Devil
Uh,
Fly. I've never
uh,
seen you before.
Devil Flyer. I think I've seen Devil Flyer. How you doing, dude? Yeah, no, that sounds good. Now, keep in mind, we got to do. There's one more thing we have to do. But keep in mind when you're in combat, you, so when you choose your physical, your distinction, and your fighting skill,
Hmm.
also, which is at the fighting skill we know is at a D12. You're also adding a D12 for your strength, right? And a D12 for
Hmm.
your asset. So your 3D12 plus whatever the other two are. That's very, very powerful, right?
Hmm.
Now, what we need to do to finish it off, we'll start with the generation. You have an 8 in it, right? So
8 in
uh,
generation.
an 8 in regeneration. So what that means is you have of that list of things he just read off, you get to choose two, right, for
Okay.
free. Now you can buy more by spending experience points, and then when it gets to D12, you get another free one. You know,
Okay.
but right now you have two, so you need to choose two of those. Obviously, just simply regenerating damage is kind of automatically one, I would say,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then the other one is up to you.
I think since he's a barbarian, he shouldn't show fear, so regenerating mental.
Sure, there you go. Right, easy enough. And then in the super strength one, because you're at a 12, you get three for free.
All right.
That's right. So let's go down to
Let's.
super strength. And yeah, you can pick three, so
You see them right here. We just pick three of those. And
mhm.
keep in mind, your super strength is the die applies in melee combat all the time, right? And you can
Okay.
also counter other super strength people.
Uh, I think I'll take wielding a large inanimate object.
Of course you will. Please. Yeah.
A
And that
I'm
buster
gonna.
sword
that
just
buster, yeah, right. But that comes in as a D8, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not just a D6, it's a D8 as stunt. Yeah, that's nice.
Okay. Um, I just wrote it down as wheeled car.
Yes, yes, that's how you write it down. That's exactly
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, wheel
I
car.
just take a light pole, stick it in a car, and then all right, let's go.
That's right. Two more.
Let's. I don't really want to do the pound the ground because that could hurt my allies too.
It could.
Let
Yes.
let's take
Yes.
the fantastic feat of strength.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which you can keep in mind when you're playing a character, you can already do fantastical feats of strength in a way.
Hmm.
This is like above and beyond, right? Like for
Hmm.
you to, kind of, push a car out of the way or move a boulder or something you can do normally. But
Hmm.
to pick up the train car and throw it across the field of minions, that's a fantastic feat of strength for you.
And then I'll because I don't really want to be one punch man. The last one I'll take is break through a wall.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that'd be really useful. I mean, if we get stuck, enemies try and like corner us in a place, like how do we get out of here? I got it. Don't worry about it.
So those
GOP.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
up?
sorry, Chester.
no, go ahead.
Chester, remember when I took and changed the glasses on our characters to night vision goggles?
Yes.
When I thought about it, it's because technically, within rules of my abilities, I could turn our glasses into night vision goggles, and then I can turn the lights off because it's a passive thing to to disorient our enemies.
Sure.
So
Why not?
that's a
Yeah.
tactic you
That's a
could
tactic,
use.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
tactical.
keep in mind what he's saying, he has magic, Puffin.
Hmm.
And because you constantly had to be thinking, how do I use my superpowers passively? Obviously, the
Hmm.
big banger things are going to be PowerPoint based. But you also want to think about how do you live as a super strength person, because you don't have to spend PowerPoints to do everything throughout your day, right?
So I have
So
a question.
yes.
You before I lose it, sorry to interrupt. So could I technically walk around with a roll of quarters and flick quarters at basically bullet speed at people? Just ping.
Yes, you could.
No.
Jesus Christ. Yo,
Without using
actually,
this
Puffin,
PowerPoint?
Yeah,
I
Yep.
why
like
not?
no. I like Puffin. Puffin, just so you know, my character magically has like endless amounts of Tootsie Rolls in my pockets that I
Mhm.
turn into miscellaneous objects for miscellaneous reasons.
Right. Even
Cool.
though
I
you're
need a
Puffin?
roll of
200 years
quarters.
old, we've discussed this before.
Tower is like
I'm like a seventh grader stuck in a 200-year-old wizard's
yeah.
body, and now I wield the Excalibur, so I am God.
That's true.
You know what would be funny? Since I'm like, they thawed me out 250 years ago, I met the wizard's original body, and I'm like, hey, but wait, something's different about you.
You're
Yeah,
much older.
actually,
Well, he was.
you might
Now he's
well
young.
have met each other before. Actually,
Hey,
Actually,
Bert, nice to
I
see
actually
you.
no Chester. My character, once I got the Excalibur, remember I turned into young me, so he'll recognize me like he just saw me.
that's true. That is true. But because you guys were both involved in the last big war, so you might well have known each other. And we got to make a couple other decisions that but we can do those kind of in run here. So let me bring this back up. I'm going to stop sharing that because we don't need that anymore.
Ooh.
Sh-
GOP.
yeah.
Does he have any abilities that he could use? Like, you know how I have
Right.
to use a PowerPoint to cast Fireball, but I can hinder myself to infinitely use that? Is there any way he could implement something like that
Of
to
course.
himself to make it more
Of
powerful?
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has
Hinder.
hinder. Everyone has hinder.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how to describe that. If you could describe that to him, so he.
Oh, you just add a hinder to your roll, and if you want to use one of your abilities on that roll, then whatever point you get from hinder, from dropping down one of your dice down to a D4, you're going to be able to use that point towards whatever ability you're using
Actually,
that
you
roll.
can't use a PowerPoint the round you get it.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a rule. We've
Yeah.
kind of been.
I went back and
I,
reread the book again. There's going to be
but
Oh,
there's a
Learn
couple of
something new
adjustments.
every time.
That's
yeah.
one. The other adjustment, there's only two. The fact that you can't spend a PowerPoint once you get it, and the other one is a mistake I've been doing. When you get your re-roll, because if you fail and you're like, I want to
mhm,
try again, right? Because
mhm,
if you fail, you just take your failure, you get a PowerPoint, right? But
mhm.
if
Yeah.
you say no, I'm going to roll again, you don't get to PowerPoint, and you have to take whatever you get. Fair enough. I like the system. What I've been doing wrong is that I don't re-roll. My number is done. It stays. And I've
Oh.
been re-rolling, and that's my mistake. I'm not supposed to roll anything. You are the one that's re-rolling to try to get
Okay.
above
Okay.
and beyond. And then if you do, I can, start that gambit over again if I chose to, which I won't. But
So
yeah,
yeah.
those are
So
the only two adjustments we have game rules wise.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Puffin. The
Yes,
the
sir.
example I'll use with what GOP was saying is I have a fireball ability, but to use it, I have to use a PowerPoint. Like any of my attacks, because I'm a mage, I have
Mhm.
to use a PowerPoint.
Sure.
So I essentially have it built into my character that I downstep myself automatically. So I regenerate the PowerPoint that I spend to use that attack. So that
So
attack on
But you
paper
can't
would say
do
be
that.
like a D6,
well,
but it's always
Power.
a
I
D4.
just explained you
there's
can't do that though.
there's an easy fix. An easy fix to the problem. As long as you already have one PowerPoint on you, then it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
just
it's true. Yeah,
keep one PowerPoint on you from beforehand. So like if you're going to use your spells, try and have at least two, and just assume
Yeah.
that one that is your base PowerPoint, you don't touch it. So
So I essentially just recoup it instead of using it for that turn. I use it for next turn.
right.
So, I mean, it
And
sort of works
Mr.
out.
I think now that we've been playing here, this is episode 13, so we're 13 plays into this system. I think I understand it 100% now. I went, like I said, I read the whole system again, and the only things saw that we were doing wrong, or because there are many options I could have chosen, I didn't. The only thing we're doing wrong is those two things. So I think we're good. I think we're finally synced it in 100%, and that's good. And they're very minor, as GOP had just said. It's just you get the PowerPoint for the next round. It's not that big a deal. You just have to make sure you always keep your reserve. You can always take Hinder. That's automatic. Everyone has Hinder. And Hinder just allows you to lower another ability to raise up the ability that you're hindering. And that gives you a PowerPoint to do that. And of course, we get PowerPoints throughout the game quite easily. And then, of course, with me not rolling the dice again when the player is challenging the roll. That was my mistake. Now, in the game, they keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I bet you in a future edition of this game, they will stop that. And do exactly what we're doing. You can choose. You can forego your PowerPoint and roll again, and you have to take whatever you get. I bet you that's what's going to happen because that back and forth thing. There's a few games that have done that. Heroes Unlimited comes to mind, right?
Mhm.
Back with Rifts and all those kind of old Palladium systems used to do that, and they did change that because it gets tiresome, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
But
got you.
anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So, do you have any other questions, Puffin?
I do, sir. I
Yes.
was looking something up because I was curious about the nature of strength in general. So, is there a way that I can incorporate the fact that the stronger you are, the denser your muscles? Is there a way my muscle would actually count as armor because of having super strength? It's so dense it can stop certain things.
Yes, but you would have to spend experience points to buy new stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, you most certainly could do that. Just like a lady was talking about wanting to get armor like GOP bought. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, sure, you can do that. But for her, it would be cheaper just to up her TK. Because by upping her TK, her telekinesis to level 12 for free, she
Hmm.
gets another power point. And one of those is shield. So she would have a D12 shield. So it's a cheaper and more direct way to do. But yeah, you can absolutely do that in this game. You can kind of do
Okay.
anything you want, really. You just have to spend
So,
for it.
okay, cool. Well, hindsight's 2020, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, you can still adjust things if you want. If you want to go back and try to suss some points out to put a die into armor, you can do that.
Oh, well, I was thinking is like, I don't even have to do that. I'm so strong that I could really, I could take what would be normally impossible armor for a normal person to wear, just thick metal armor, and just wear it because I'm strong enough to carry it.
You could do that, but the problem in this game is you have to apply it as an asset. Now you could do that in game by simply
Oh.
spending a PowerPoint for the scene,
Hmm.
two PowerPoints for the entire night, right? The
Hmm.
entire session. So you can do that with PowerPoints. You can, but
Hmm.
to keep it long term, you have to spend experience points. But to be keep in mind, you also have the option by spending a single PowerPoint, you can reduce one level of stress automatically. You have that
Hmm.
because you have regeneration. Just keep that in mind. So
Oh,
let's
yes,
say
sir.
I get a really good hit on you, and I drop a D12 stress on you, which is not good because you're
Hmm.
near KO'd. You can simply spend a couple of power points and drop it down to an 8, or spend 3 and drop
Hmm.
it down to a 6. I mean, if you haven't noticed, this game, it tries to be a little video gamey, right?
Hmm.
And you really need to think about getting PowerPoints in any way you can. You are more
Okay.
driven by PowerPoints than anybody else here. So, well, Tower is to a point as well. But you really need to think about that. And the way you get PowerPoints
Okay.
is by hindering yourself. And it's very simple. You lower one thing to raise another thing, and you get a PowerPoint for it, right?
Okay.
Also, you get PowerPoints by succeeding at things, right? Also, by failing at things, you get PowerPoints, and also by being awesome.
Hmm.
So, be awesome.
Okay. So if I was going to make a physical attack, I would get a D12 from the axe, a D12 from the super strength,
Hmm.
and a D12 from my fight.
Right. Plus, you would get your physical. What is that?
D10,
Hmm. And you get whatever distinction applies. What is that?
which
Be
D10.
another D10.
D10. So you have 3D12, and do you have any specialties in fight? Oh, where we added that, sorry. We have that applied. So you would have 3D12 and 2D10. And yeah, that's pretty nice.
But wait, there's
There's
more.
more.
My SFX is I have a mental one that basically puts me in a rage, which raises my distinction to a D12, and then a
Mhm.
physical
Yeah.
that I reduce my social to a D4 to raise my D10 in physical to a D12. So I'd have 5 D12.
Have you been talking to GOP?
Yes,
What?
he helped me build my character.
Why would you think I would do something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Excuse
preposterous.
me? Excuse me? Why would I introduce these two to each other? Other than to
Fair. Why can't I find my dice? What's going on here? Should be. Oh, here we go. Bookmarks. That's right.
That is
And
a
now-
good point. The Middle Earth in the chat says just grab a teammate, use them as a shield. That works.
Right? I mean, I've got a D12 armor.
his name is
alright.
Edwin, and he's a great player. He just doesn't want to play with us.
Yeah, he
Oh,
doesn't
I
like
see.
us. He hates us.
That's fine.
Aw.
Yeah, we're so sad. We're so sad. But
Don't worry.
I seem to be on the wrong thing. Let me go over here and check the other side. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I can find it over here. So I'm using a different thing on this side. That's interesting. So let me get rid of this.
Yes.
No, I'll take care of it in this way.
The thing.
The thing,
Hello.
the thingy. You know.
We all
thingy?
know about that.
Yeah, the thingy. I just want to. I want to keep this before I kill it. So let me bring this over. I guess I wasn't using Firefox or something. All right, so let's do that. All right, good. And then let's do this. So make sure everyone is on the dice because we need those.
All right, so
I'm there.
I haven't used that. How do I join your guys' dice thing, or do I just bring it up myself?
Here,
He should have a link for you.
yeah, okay, you guys take care of that. Yeah. Just
Okay.
just click on the link. You'll come in automatically, dude.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we got all that set up. I have this up here, and then I need to switch over the other side and
Copy
we
that.
get going here. Alrighty.
I'll shoot you that link right now. Here you go, buddy. There's your link.
Alrighty.
All right.
You have to make an account.
Well, that
I
would
have
be
the-
useful in the long run because you could just it just automatically pops in, right? But right now he should be in there. Let me check. So
I
we
see.
got
I
me,
don't
we got
see Tower.
Lady, we got GOP, we have player 7. Is that you?
Which I think that's me. I don't know
Yeah.
why I didn't put my name in there.
If
but
you
okay.
click on the P
You
for
have
player
to do it
7,
yourself.
you can put your own name in, or own character name in.
Why did you text me that in all caps?
Why not?
What?
Because I have neuropathy in my fingers, and sometimes I don't know if I hit the caps key or not.
Fair enough.
Hold on a second, guys. All right. So go ahead and ask your question, Puffin.
All right, so I'm in there. So with the dice thing, if I do organize my dice at the bottom, and I do I hit create or
Nope.
Some-
Just if you just go ahead and click on the die. I'm sharing my screen. Am I? No, I'm probably not. But just click on the number of dice you need, and then you'll be able to just roll them. Just go ahead and click on the dice on the bottom, and it'll bring up, and you'll see it. And you could say you need 2d8, so hit the 2d8 twice. Then say you need to throw 3 10s in there. Well, just hit them 3 times, and then roll.
Oh, that's the thing on my screen. There are no dice on the bottom.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's just a black bar which says organized dice, and that's it.
Oh, well, do that then. Click on organize.
Because he
Yeah.
hasn't
Do
created
that.
his account yet.
Oh, no,
Well,
I
no,
have
but you
my
don't have
account.
to. It should be. There should be a
Should
base
but
thing under
just
there.
click organize my dice and just do it. You can do it. It's not hard.
And you just drag and drop whichever one you
And
want.
he's dropped. He's
spot.
not in here at all now.
That's it's saving, so
I
wait,
see
what?
Tower and Tower Slayer.
It's
Oh, you're out.
okay, so I have game dice
Oh, okay.
in there now, so let's go back and click the link, and that should fix everything.
There you go.
Do this.
Yep.
Oh, it did not fix it.
You're
I'm
back.
connected, but I don't have any dice.
Well, go ahead and click
Um,
the organized dice and just set it up.
And then just drag it down
Okay,
next
there we
to the organize my dice
We
bar.
got 2 T's, and that's not fair.
Yeah, but they're blue. I know what they are.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying to.
I'm purple.
yeah, but you're not in here anymore. You're out now. What are you guys
Where-
doing? What's going on?
He's on his phone.
Yeah, because he's on his phone,
Yeah, I
so
know.
he's
I'm just,
jumping.
I'm just kidding. I know.
This is infuriating.
Am I back?
You are back now.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I have to switch between Discord and the Dice app.
I know.
I would just say put a D4 in one spot and then a D6, D8, D10, D12.
Do you need
You
the
don't need a 20-sider. You don't. So you can get rid of the 20-siders completely.
Hey, Chester.
Okay.
Man, I had an unlucky day the other day. Brand new truck, less than 1,000 miles. A rock already chipped the windshield. I had to take it in and get it fixed.
Oh no.
Wow. You should be a better driver.
I can't fucking control that.
Sure you can.
You can.
By driving slower.
Wow.
Why is that-
He is not
That's-
working, dude. Oh, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Get out of here completely, dude. Just leave the dice place. I'm going to give you another link.
Is that an all-white die with
Yeah,
no
it's
numbers?
something
Yeah, I don't
broken's
know
on
what
this
happened.
side. That's okay. Just leave here completely. Leave the dice completely. I'm going to drop another link and use this one, please. Alrighty, here you go. Use this link and come back in, please.
It's still blank. Okay, never mind. That's them.
No, that was the old thing. Just have to clear it.
So how do I get it to roll more than one of the dice?
There you go.
You click them.
You can
Okay.
click on more than one.
Yeah, just
So
click
when you
on
click-
it more
yeah.
than once. Yeah,
Okay,
it's working now for you. I'm assuming.
I believe so.
Okay, give us a roll. Give us 3d12 and 2d10 roll. Oh, there you go.
That's better.
Perfect. There you go. That's ambitious. 5d12. Very nice.
Oh, that's what I'm
we're
supposed to
dealing
have
with
with
an
the
elder
S
now.
effect.
With
He-
a special effect. Jesus, dude.
Yes.
Alrighty then.
I
Alrighty
done did
then.
it.
Be like that. All right. So, so we're ready to get going. Everyone ready? I'm ready. All right, here we go.
Whatever you do, don't roll a 1. For the love of God, don't roll a 1.
It's well with D12s, yeah, that wouldn't be good. But
Yeah, for the
you
love
know,
of fuck, do not roll 1s.
Well, the good
Look,
thing
I-
is we are starting out a new case file today. So that means that my Doom pool starts at its 0 point.
Yes!
And,
Yeah.
but we are in ranking up to our epicness. Therefore, my Doom pool does not start with D6s, nor does it start with D8s. I start with 2D10. Very nice.
Hey,
Just knowing
do
how-
I have
how-
a real... Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I think last 2 weeks ago when I had got the Excalibur, I was having technical issues.
Yeah.
Do I have an attack with the Excalibur? I know it
Oh.
did something.
Yeah, that's
But it
actually
was-
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about it at the very, very end of the session, and I had to get off due to time restraints. So
Okay, so basically,
Yeah, you
Excalibur
do that. I'm
does
gonna put
all
some
these
water
things.
on.
Well,
Okay.
it's a question I had to ask you because I'll just wait for him to get back. But yeah, no, this is basically the issue was that it does all these other things, but is it in and of itself an asset that has a number attached to it? Because I don't think that got mentioned in the stuff that it does.
yeah, I don't have anything to do with the Excalibur written out. just because I got it at the very end of the session, and because of time
Other than you
constraint,
have
it
to
was like,
sacrifice innocence.
Well,
oh
yeah.
yeah. Puffin, just so you already know, my character morally is good, was good, whatever. Because I took the Excalibur, I have 31 years to live, and that is only if I kill innocents. Now, I figured out a loophole to this. I can just kill orphans. It's not morally right.
That's a
but
loophole.
orphans
It's all right. I found a loophole into this whole moral conundrum. Orphans, who needs them?
exactly. No one's gonna miss them.
Oh
It'll
my
May
be.
I
God.
May I
It'll,
say something?
it'll be
Oh my God.
fine.
May I say
That was the
something?
moral.
Yes, lady, please.
I like to thank everybody who is in chat for hitting that like button. But apparently, people who are playing can't go onto the site and click the like button.
Oh
I
well.
don't know how to use YouTube. I don't
I
even know
mean-
how to use a computer.
Well, that's true on your part, but yes, I know I could be clicking it. I usually do end up clicking it, just not right at the beginning. But I do hit the like
I
button.
tell my friends and family
This is
about
the biggest
channel.
chat we've had in a long
True.
time.
All
All
right,
How many
all
people
right.
are there?
Are we ready now? Can I go?
Yeah. So what I was, I just want to clarify here. So, should the Excalibur be considered under signature assets and have a number associated with the roll, since he's using it as a weapon, or
Of
would
course,
it be?
I already said that. It's a
Okay.
D12 signature asset.
Okay, I didn't hear that part before.
Actually, it has a special effect. If he spends 3 power points, it rolls as a D20.
Dang.
And you
Okay.
were wondering why we wanted some armor.
Okay, so
Listening
just put
to
that down
you.
as a D12. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. I will put it down as a D12. I kind of figured, but
Hang on, let me open this can. I need something
the-
stronger.
Now, keep in mind, in this game, we don't use it's very rare to use D20s, but they do exist. They do exist. To take your character into having D20s, you have to have a very exceptional situation. But you will run into enemies, the ultra bosses that have them. Raoul, for instance, Oberon, right? But it is super, super rare. But Excalibur is the greatest artifact on Earth. Plain and simple, right?
all right.
So, of course, it has special abilities. Anyway, we're ready. I'm ready. I'm going.
Mhm.
Okay, here we go.
Good night, Edward.
All right, here we go, guys, and thank you. I'm not looking at the chat. Sorry, chat. That's Lady's job, and she's doing a good job. So thank you all for coming in. I do appreciate it. Let me look at
I
it
need
real
a
quick
fourth
before I
monitor
go.
now.
Yes, you do. We got Edwin here, and excellent. Nice to see you, Edwin. So Ethereal Dragon's still on about the dwarfs. Nice. And no spinach. No, you don't need spinach in this game. You just use magic. Yep. Okay. Later, Edwin. So I'm going to come back over to my side here and get to it. So.
I use Tootsie Rolls.
Of course, you guys know we're using Cortex Prime. I'm enjoying the system. I think it's a great little thing to have fun with, and we are in the Umbral campaign now. Just to kind of not give another update. Once again, I do apologize for last week, but you can't schedule death, dude. Uh, where were we? You guys just finished a thing. I'm not going to go through it all, but you ended up going to an outer bastion, and you had to sacrifice an innocent little royal girl, an Ishi girl, or a elf girl, to get into the Umbral bastion of the Absu. And you, of course, met the Asmodean. And one of his, someone who's in cahoots and working with him, of course, is Mirzin, the Carpathian. And of course, Mirzin or Merlin gave you the sword, but one of the things they found out about with Excalibur is the fact that every 108 days you must sacrifice an innocent to the sword, or it will take your soul. And this can be done 107 times. On the 108th time, it takes your soul no matter what, which is 32 years. Our very old wizard who Tower is playing is in his. He only has a maximum of 32 years, and honestly, I don't know if he's. I don't know who keeps rolling dice. Who keeps rolling dice?
I- Oh, God.
Is that
I'm
Tower?
just- Oh
We
my!
have two degenerates.
I don't know why you keep doing that.
It's Tower.
And Puffin.
Oh, they're
Oh.
playing around. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, you guys came back to Earth. Back you were outer dimensional at that time. You came back to Earth. Things were of course chaotic from all the different Dove headquarters being attacked. But you went back home and you spoke with your boss over there, of course, Antoine Burquest, who is Merov, and he's pretty high level. I mean, he's running the Boston office, which is a pretty big one, right? And he sees what's happened, what's going on. You have Excalibur is with you, and he says, oh, "Okay, well, we need to go and talk with some people." So he took you and you guys ended up in the Bastion, right? Let me see, where did I put that?
Hello?
Shiloh, yes, yes, that's correct. Did I move it toward the end? I think I might have moved it down so I could easily access it.
I don't know. You're not sharing with us, so.
No, I'm going to in a second here. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You ended up in the Umbral Bastion of Shiloh, and he was going to take you someplace. So let me come over here and get you guys on board with what I'm doing, and then we can start. There we go. There you go. Now, keep in mind, Puffin, you can and should follow along with what I'm showing because there's visual storytelling involved here. And you could just click on my window here in Discord, like you just did with GOP, and see what I'm presenting. Okay?
Okay. I have you open on YouTube.
Oh,
It's
well, that's
delayed, so
delayed,
you can't
though.
really count on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should use the Discord. You should use the Discord. Because the delay is depending a good 10-15 seconds. So, but anyway, so let's get going. All righty. Day 1. Umbral case file number 7, Excalibur. Now you follow Burquest, and he uses the Ramdar step, which you guys have. And who's holding Ramdar step right now?
It would be Tower.
Tower has it. So Tower has Ramdar step. Who has Mimir's eye?
Me.
You
Lady.
do. Tower is also holding Excalibur. Puffin's not with us yet. It's just the three of you. And GOP, do you have anything that is essential, or are you just you?
I am just me.
Sweet.
Everything I got is stuff I came with, nothing special.
That's good. That's good. All right, so we know where everything is. You guys use Ramdar step, and you go because everything is busted right now, right? The mission control rooms portal isn't working as far as you can tell. Every major Dove headquarters on Earth was attacked by the Stygians, right? And you guys were involved in the London fight, personally. There's dead people, there's chaos, things have definitely ramped up. But then again, you guys are standing on the mortal. Well, no, you're not. You just left it. But you were standing on the mortal realm and with Excalibur back in play, and it's been centuries since that's been true. So interesting. But you do travel to the Umbral Bastion of Shiloh, and there are many bastions in the Umbra. Magical peoples can, or super powerful magic individuals can do it themselves, but usually you have magical factions and groups and cabals will join their magic together to form out of the Umbra these little pocket realms. right? And they're called bastions. Makes sense because Umbral energy connects the entire universe, but it is also the essence of magic itself. So it makes perfect sense, and it's more than likely how whatever created this reality, it's how it did it. It had a sea of magic, and in that magic, it created reality. More than likely, but we're not going to get philosophical today. Nevertheless, you go in. You've been here before, of course. The team and Jaro, I'm sure, has been here before as well. Jaro is here, but we'll get to him in a second. And you know, you just kind of land in this center landing space that you're supposed to. You know, there's an agreed upon area where people teleport in and out of this bastion, and you guys go and take the kind of conveyance systems they have, and Burquest is being pretty quiet actually. But eventually he gets off and he kind of nods for you guys to follow, and he goes down. This place is definitely has a Chinese theme, ancient Chinese theme, but it's mixed. Everybody can be found here. This one is important because it's considered the greatest library in the Yggdrasil, right? So everybody comes here, right? But he takes you down some alleyways in more of a kind of daily life place where there's little markets for shopping and pubs and all kind of stuff. And he takes you into a pub. The sign outside says Abel's Way. There's a bunch of people in there enjoying beverages and some snacks and things like that. And keep in mind, in this world, because we do have people who range in ages incredibly so. There's a lot of anachronism. So, you know, some people will be dressed very modern, but some people will be stuck in their fashion from 100 to 1,000 years ago because it's what they feel most comfortable in. And this place is no different. You see 17th century mixing with 19th century mixing with 21st century. And Abel's Way is it's homey. It's feels good. As with many things in a bastion, there's no need to hide magic at all. So everything is quite magical. But he leads you through the back. Oh, hold on a second. I'll be back in a minute.
Uh-oh.
We
Wife's
go through
wearing
the
wife's wearing those what kind of pants were those?
the yoga pants.
Yeah, the yoga pants.
Yep,
Oh,
no,
hey,
he's gotta go. You know, sorry, kids.
GOP lady, do you guys want to be festive? I can turn these Tootsie Rolls into hats.
I
No.
don't. I mean, if you want to wear a hat, that's up to you, man.
Here, I get one of those
Way I'm gonna
Ronin
do
style
it.
straw. I turn this Tootsie Roll into one of those Ronin hats and put it on. Do you guys want one?
I'm good. What are you
Okay.
saying, Puffin?
You there, Puffin?
Puffin?
He might have had to step away.
Oh, okay, that's what he said. All right, never mind then.
Okay.
Well, your Ron
Puffin had
tester
to
just
step
said
away
I
anyway.
I did
I turned a
hear
Tootsie Roll into a Ronin hat.
as I put the headphones down and went over to get my coffee. Someone mentioned yoga pants. Only my wife is allowed to wear yoga pants.
That's what we were saying. We were trying to figure out why you had to walk away, and Lady brought up that it's probably
Wife showed
what
up in yoga.
yeah, and it's just like, well, you got to do what you got to do,
Dude,
you know.
yoga pants were made for men. They were.
It do be like
To
that.
look
They
at.
do. Yes, to look at.
Oh.
Yes. It takes all the right shapes in the right directions. Very, very nice.
Only if you got the shape for it.
It makes that bitch look like you built like a brick house.
That is true. It depends on who. My wife has always been very, very athletic and fit, though, lady. She's a sportsy girl. So,
I'm glad for you.
yeah, me
Dustin.
too. She did volleyball for the longest time, but she stopped doing that and just does jazzercise now. She's a jazzerciser.
Uh-huh.
Let's check
Oh,
out
Chester,
chat.
just for atmosphere, so you know, I took a Tootsie Roll out of my pocket and I turned into a Ronin hat, so I'm wearing one of those hats right now.
Sweet, as you can do. Have we
As
got Puffin
David
back?
likes
I
to
need
say
Puffin
sweet.
here. Is Puffin back?
Not yet.
Did he put in the chat he went somewhere?
He said something, but we haven't had this many people in VC in a while, so we're kind of talking over each other. So he said something. He got to be either
Uh,
be right back or
Well, I kind of need to wait for him.
then we'll wait.
I will wait.
How did the Greek thing go when you were telling them about whatever, whoever?
You talk about my lecture series or just the
Yeah,
class
yeah,
itself?
the class
What,
itself.
Alexander?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, well, in amongst the actual studying, because I am a history professor, right? So in amongst the actual Greek study, I've also been doing once a week. I do a lecture series, or not even every week. Once every 2 weeks, I do a lecture series on the Hellenes themselves, right? Starting from Agamemnon, ending with Alexander. So I just ended that lecture series, and yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Did
remind me who
everybody pass?
it sounds familiar.
I'm
I
sorry.
think Puffin is back.
I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay. What was your question, Tower?
Remind me who Agamemnon was. It's been a while, but
Agamemnon. He was a Macedonian king who was
okay.
directly involved with the Trojan War. But I'm not
That's
going to get.
it.
You're not going to drag me in that conversation.
No, I'm fine. No,
Back
I've heard
again.
the name, but I was curious where I had remembered it from. Thank you
You're
for your
welcome.
wisdom.
All right, so we come in Abel's Way, and like I explained, it's a pub in the Bastion of Shiloh, and he, once again, Burquest, you're following him. He's been pretty quiet. He goes into a back room. There is a strange looking guard at the door. You've never seen that type of thing. You don't know what it is, but keep in mind because you're all Umbral in some way. None of you are normal humans. You can see reality for what it is, because there is a standard kind of glamour that goes on that the general humanity can't see. Of course, we're not on Earth at this moment. We're inside the Umbral, which is part of our Yggdrasil. So it's all part of the big bubble that makes up our planet. But nevertheless, you go into this back room, and it's lavishly appointed. Looks very, very comfortable, very modern, actually. Nice place to sit down, have a drink, and have a chat. You would think. And of course, in this room, you see three individuals. Berquist goes up. He bows. He says something in a language most of you wouldn't know, but I do believe we have someone here that speaks all languages. Isn't
Yes.
Tower a polyglot?
He does have a specialty in um arcane languages.
Oh, so
So
he's not a
Yeah.
polyglot. He just simply is a student of language like me. Okay. All right. So
What's a polyglot? Can you define that?
s- glot means to speak. Poly means all.
Okay, copy this.
Yeah.
Education.
Yeah, education. Yes, I see. I keep going back to professor today, but anyway,
Sorry.
he says something in some language that none of you know, except for the three people are in this room and the one large buff redhead that's standing behind them. They all bow and their heads and acknowledge his comment. He just spoke Titanic, by the way, Puffin.
Okay.
Huh?
And here are the people. And of course, there is a man standing behind quietly, behind these three, but you're not being introduced to him. You're being introduced to these three. The one standing behind, of course, we took a look at. I'll show it again real quick. And of course, this is Puffin's character, Jaro. All right. Let me bring it back up. Okay. So you're introduced to these three people, and Berquest says that these are all. Oh, I misspelled one of those. Oh God, don't forgive me.
dun
Um,
dun dun.
but anyway, these are all members of the Elohim. Now, you guys know, everyone here knows who the Elohim are. The Elohim are kind of a joint. They're not from any particular faction or another. They're not necessarily pack members or not pack members. They're simply some of the most powerful beings in the Yggdrasil that form a council to deal with problems when they they come up, and it's become quite congressional in its size these days. But they do have their inner circle, who are the big bang heavy hitters, and three of them are standing in front of you. You have Lord Sid Calthera. He is an Umbral tethered, just like GOP and Lady is. You have Lady Allure. She's is a demon, and she's a Choldamite. And you also have Count Ramstein, and he is an Umbral, but he's a Swati, which maybe only Tower's character knows what that is. They're super ancient things. But nevertheless, these three are introduced to you. Everyone bows, and yada 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 yada. And Lord Sid speaks first, and he says, "Let me see the sword."
Tower.
Okay.
It's you.
Um, I have it in my hand still. Like I'm not gonna let go of it, but I unsheath it.
He comes over, he looks at it. You feel this telekinetic pressure pulling it from your hand. Do you release it or not? You don't have to.
I do not.
All
I am
right.
not letting go. This is my sworn duty.
He kind of looks at you a little, well, kind of like he's looking right there. And he steps forward. He clears his throat, and he looks at it instead of trying to forcibly take it. And he says, "Yes, that is Merzin's sword." He looks at the other two. Count Ramshin says, "I hear that they have the step."
That would also be Tower.
Oh, wait, is that other thing I got?
That's the
Yes.
teleportation thing we have.
Oh,
Called a
okay,
step
okay.
for a reason.
Yes, I pull that out of my other pocket and hold on to that with the other hand.
Not
Uh,
letting go of it.
This time, it disappears from your hand and it appears in his hand. They can't do that with Excalibur, right? But they can do with this. And he says, Ramdar's step. He shows it to everyone. They all nod approvingly. And they say that Ramshin will continue. He says that we've come to a very serious situation, as of course you are neck deep in, dealing with Raoul. He needs to be dealt with. But before we can do that, this, and it floats above his hand, needs to be dealt with first. This is essential to any plot we might have to get into where Raoul is and take him out, or at least force him back. But before we can before we can use this, we need to deal with its master. Allure, the lady, she continues as if they were all speaking the same. And she says, "Yes, Remderstep is its most common name, but it's not its first name. Its first name carries the name of its creator. It is called Sidon's Fulcrum." She actually says it in Greek, but I won't do that. But it translates into Sidon's Fulcrum. And Sidon is known as the Keymaster often, but he is an Atalani. He is one of the Titans. Matter of fact, you, Jaro, Puffin,
Mm-hmm.
you know who Sidon is, and you hate that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
He's an evil, evil, evil thing, and you missed several opportunities in the past to remove his head from his body.
I will restrain the urge to spit on the ground in hearing his name.
Now, they continue. And they actually, the lady kind of creates an illusion in front of a hologram, as it were, and she shows you Sidon, or at least what she knows Sidon to look like. He is a shapeshifter, after all. But she does show you the image, and they do tell you that Sidon of Crete is often called the key master throughout history, but he's extremely ancient. He is one of the elders. He is of Titan birth, um, uh, and God birth. Now, keep in mind, in our world, Titan and God take on slightly different meanings, right? These are people like you. They're not actual gods, right? Well, to a mortal, they are. I don't know what music I'm hearing.
Tower,
Thank you,
what are you
Tower.
doing?
I don't know what happened.
Okay. But nevertheless, uh, you know, Tower, basic stuff about Sidon, and you know that, of course, Jaro knows a lot more because he lived it. But Sidon, his mother is a Titan. His mother's name is Inanna. Most people today would call her Venus, right? And his father was one of the gods, which again, these are just old factions, the first factions, right? And his name was Ninchida, but he these days would be known as Mercury. So he is a mixed faction, not mixed blood, because it's all human, right? But so this is truly one of the elders. This is like Oberon himself, right? Or Raoul and things like that. Actually, Raoul is not that old. But they kind of give you an explanation. Ramshin explains a little bit more detail for you guys how to use Sidon's fulcrum better, how to envision it, and how to more accurately travel with it. They actually take a few minutes explaining how this item works quite well, to the point that any of you could probably use this. It doesn't have to be Tower, although he's probably the most proficient simply because, he's a wizard. But they explain very clearly how to use this in a very precise way. And then they end with this. In order for us to move on, Sidon must die, Allure says. Sid says it will be a good test of the champion, for Sidon, not as powerful as Raal, is powerful. But he must die, because if he does not, we must use this to get to Raal. It is the only thing that will allow us to get next to him. But if we use it, Sidon will know. And Sidon is a spiteful creature. He will intervene simply because it is fun to him. We must remove him from the equation. Therefore, your mission is very simple. You will go to Sidon, you will find him, and you will murder him. We have someone here to help you.
Well, that's good.
They introduce, well, I'm not going to do it. He's going to do it. Sid turns around, puts his hand out toward you, Jaro.
I will step forward. Greetings, champion and companions. My name is Jaro. I am one of... How did you say it?
The Atalani. Yeah.
From days old, I know well of Sidon, but missed my chance to behead him multiple times. Over years of frozen slumber, I now return for another chance to put the creature in its proper box or hole or whatever you do to bury them now. I am thankful for this and will do my best to accompany you in your quest, but if I should get the final blow on him, I will be exceedingly ecstatic. So forgive me.
I chime in. Name's Xander Lyons. It's a pleasure to have you aboard. I hold my hand out.
I will shake your hand.
All right.
Could I offer you any kind of hot teas, my friend? Any assortment, your choice?
I will Do you have crag root tea?
Yes, I can make anything you've ever wanted.
Good. I have not tasted it in over 10,000 years.
All right, I pull a Tootsie Roll out of my pocket. I turn it into a cup, and then I take another Tootsie Roll, throw it in the cup, and turn that Tootsie Roll into said Crag Rock tea, nice and warm. Hand it to him.
DC 15 challenge rating.
What in the motherfucker?
We have to even assume that you know what it is.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Challenge rating 15.
It's a root.
Go ahead. Make a roll. Make a roll.
God, the fuck am I
Would it
rolling
just be an
here?
arcane roll, or what would it be?
It's just an arcane, occult roll. Yeah.
All right, just
So-
remember, you did
Mental?
get your stuff upgraded because
Oh, motherfucker! Right off
I
the
hope
bat,
he
he hits
fails.
Is that
me.
shortcut
I hope
now?
he fails. I want Puffin's first beverage to be awful.
I'm gonna spend my
Tastes like
motherfucking
piss.
3 power points to make sure I succeed.
No.
No, don't
No,
do
you
that.
can't do
that's
that.
not how that works. No.
Jesus Christ!
Well, I mean, I
Um,
guess you could, but that'd be kind of
Yeah,
a waste.
just roll your dice. Roll an occult roll, please. Quick now, like little bunny.
Well, it would be mental and occult, right?
It would just be
mental.
your shortcut.
Yeah.
But remember, you've got an extra, like one of your dice got bumped up, so from a D10 to a
Puffin,
D12.
I sent you a message.
2 12s. Yeah, so it's 2 12s and a 10.
You should have 3 12s
Or 3 12s.
and no D10s, and then if you want to get a PowerPoint, you can do a D4 as well. It's up to you though.
Come on, just
Yeah,
roll the
3
dice. I
12s
mean,
and a
what the hell?
D4.
Roll the dice. This
Yes.
should have been done
Hey,
a minute ago, dude.
Why is there
Okay.
a white dye in that?
I got rid of it.
Yeah.
Refresh your page.
You did it.
You
Okay.
did it. Okay, fine. Jesus. Goodness gracious. All right. So
Shouldn't you get a PowerPoint? It was 10 over.
No, it was
well, if
Okay.
was it 10 over? I don't think it was.
no.
It was a
No,
25. Well, I'm
No,
just
no,
looking at the
no,
number.
that's
there.
No.
not how it works,
Okay.
lady. You know that's not
Yeah,
how it
okay,
works.
yeah. Only add 3 dice together.
Two dice. Two.
2 dice and then an effect dice.
Oh my God! I swear to God.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I failed somehow, GOP.
Tower, I'm gonna send you your new shortcut list so you can with the Excalibur stuff
Do these
factored in.
kids
I
these
got it.
days understand what a fucking printer is?
I don't have a
Mine
doesn't
computer,
work.
let alone a printer.
A lot of people
Dude, I
don't have printers
I have to
nowadays.
drive 30 minutes to use a printer, Chester.
I have a
Okay.
printer right here in front of me.
All right,
I'm
It
not
does-
that old.
I can just send it digitally. It's fine. It works
Printer
fine.
Equates to old. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Anyway, okay. Jaro, you're given a great cup of crag root tea, sir.
I will take a sip and needs honey.
It needs
I also
honey.
say
Yes.
I give him another Tootsie Roll. That's when he throws it in there. It turns into honey. And I'm like, okay, I'm Tastus Underwood, the best
All right.
and the biggest.
Okay.
You have very interesting abilities. Manipulation of chocolate is not something I would think of the biggest or best, but it is the most plentiful, I suppose.
Hey man, you enjoy that tea now.
Oh, I will. So I slowly sip it, looking to the final member I've not been introduced to.
That's you,
Hi.
lady.
My name is Mavis, but you can call me Max. And I'm your tech support,
Wonderful.
basically.
Yeah, keep in mind, Puffin, you are not an anachronism anymore. You've been around for a couple centuries, so
Wonderful.
yeah. So you don't have to play the character in an anachronistic way, right?
Okay.
Alrighty. So all the introductions are done, and once again we go back, and Lady Allure speaks finally, and she says, "There's no need to delay. We need to get this done quickly. I do believe we are on a time schedule." As she looks at Tower, and she says, "Therefore, We know where he is generally. Therefore, we will send you to him. And they before she puts the vision of where you need to go into, I guess, tower. He's holding the step and given back to him. That's where it came from. Ramshin gives it back. Just before she puts that image in Remdar step or Sidon's fulcrum, is just works on its own because she demands it to do so. They do tell you that you need to seek out Palatine Okale. He will know where to find Sidon. And the image enters Tower's head, and he can't control the situation. And all of a sudden, you guys find yourself in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Exactly where I thought we were going.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Bring out the eyepiece and start looking around.
One of the most dangerous cities in America. Often finds itself on the top 20 to 30 list.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right. I look over
It's
at late. Yep. I look over at Lady. I'm like, you find anything in this Palatine guy?
Working on it. Get Paul to do his thing.
And it's able to find very well because Palatine is an actual Dove member of Dove, so it takes you 2 seconds. And you
He's a member of Dove. Hope he's alive.
He is. He is different though. You guys have most of your interaction are with Dove agents, Dove enforcers, Dove technicians, things like that, right? You work and you live basically in a Dove headquarters, right? However, he is something that, of course, you know about, but you've probably never met one before. He is what is called a Dove minder. And you don't know exactly what they do, but these are the people who observe and watch, right? So he's a bit different. It's a bit something new, and you do know that at least what your computer is telling you, his current location is the Little Rock Historical Baptist Church, is where he is supposed to be. And you guys find yourself standing in that park we see right here on the screen off to the left. And of course, probably none of you have ever been here before. Well, maybe Lyons has been here before. Who knows? It is his neck of the woods. But nevertheless, you guys need to find and get to the Baptist church, you guess.
All right.
This way. I start walking. Make sure I look both ways walking across the street, of course. This way.
Yep, we can go there. Or
I kind of Tootsie. Well, go on. You go
okay.
first.
Or since he works for Dove anyways, we could go to the local Dove office and have them call him in. Might be better that way, but I mean, I'm down with going wherever.
Remember what all Dove offices look like.
Well,
they're disaster areas.
Hold on a second.
Well,
the portals aren't. Well, hold on a second. The portals aren't working, but the switchboards are. The internet is working better now. But there's one real hitch in your plan. There is no Dove office in Little Rock.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
He was out here. I just thought there might be a local office.
No, the local office is in Chicago.
Okay, fair enough. Then
so he's part of our group. Okay.
Well,
no, we're in Boston.
You're in Boston. Yeah, these offices are regional. For instance, your office deals with all of New England, right?
Yeah.
But your office is in Boston. There's nothing in Maine and Rhode Island. That although there is probably some satellite branches here or there, but Arkansas has nothing as far as your computer says. Just
going to the little church then.
Right.
Yep.
So it is on the back end of town. So that's probably, I don't know, an hour walk.
See if there's a bus service.
Just get an Uber.
What's an Uber?
You know, that's the one thing my phone doesn't have. We have
I-
1, 2, 3, 4, two of them pretty big folks.
She
I
uses
use these.
Lyft.
Van
She
Uber,
uses Lyft. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lyft. Okay.
sometimes when I'm
mean,
out drinking, I need this, so I got it on my phone. Don't worry about
I
it.
hate to interject, but I must.
Mhm.
You are holding one of Earth's great artifacts in your hand, and now you know what the building looks like.
Oh my god, yeah, that makes so much sense now that I think
Okay,
about it.
Tower. Do your thing.
Yeah, let's just that I don't know how I was not connecting those dots. Yeah, Tower,
I was
go.
thinking of moving
I do what
between,
they want me to do.
I'm just
Mm.
standing here sipping my tea,
Yes.
shaking my head.
Oh
The
my
good thing
If
god.
you
about
ever
Tootsie
need
Roll
more, just
cups,
let me
though,
know.
Puffin, is that it never goes cold. So that's that's a bonus.
Hell
Nice.
yeah,
General.
Muffin. If you ever need a refill, just let me know. I'll throw you another Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But of course, you guys hold hands because the way I'll keep calling it Randar's Step because that's what I've been using, and it is its most well-known name. But the way it works is very simple. If you can visualize it, you can travel to it
And I can bring up a picture on the phone so you can
easily.
see it.
So it's
Yeah.
very
All right.
easy. So that's all you really need is imagery, and you can travel. So boom, you
I
all
do
hold
ask
hands, you
Gerard,
kumbaya,
what does that
and
taste like?
here you are. Go ahead. Sorry, lady. Go ahead.
While we're sitting there waiting for him to focus, ask him, what does that taste like?
Tastes like pine cone mixed with cinnamon.
I throw her a
Pine.
cup of tea also.
Okay.
You're
Well,
supposed to be focusing.
You're supposed to be
Jesus,
focusing. Pine
I can
cone
do a
mixed
lot
with
of things.
cinnamon. Actually, that sounds pretty good.
I tasted and spit it out, and it tastes like piss.
Yeah, there you go.
oh.
Now
It's
that
an acquired taste.
it is
Way to
acquired taste,
insult our new guest.
but the question is, why would you know what piss tastes like?
Mm.
I'm a highly
Got
educated,
you.
Oh,
mental.
education. Yes, yes, that's true. Education. That's what it is.
It tastes
Part of the training.
salty and like
Well,
copper.
therefore,
Hey, we're
GOP,
don't
I must be incredibly debauched then.
if you're admitting to something, sure. Let's go to the church
No,
so we can
Yeah.
all
educated.
confess about
Our
things.
Right.
sins. Okay.
Now, you
Yeah.
come, you guys pop in, and you're standing out in front here, Little Rock Baptist. This is a historical American building,
Hmm.
and I don't know if I should spread theories here, but Tower, you've been here before. This used to be a center a long time ago. That you actually were here during the war, and you're kind of surprised how well they've repaired it because last you remember the roof was half gone and there were blast marks and no windows were in the damn thing.
Of course,
But
that was during the Civil War. So
not the Civil War.
I
No,
wasn't okay.
the
I was
Magical
close.
War. Yeah,
Okay.
the Veil Wars, which I've referenced several times during our sessions. It was really bad, and it was so bad that it forced so many factions to come together and create the Pact. Right, the Pact is a direct result of the absolute devastation of that war, and and kind of a promise to each other that it will never happen again, right? Which is why Raul's presence is really panicking everybody because we haven't had anything really bad kick off yet. The Middle East, of course, is not happy, but the rest of the world doesn't care about the Middle East. They never have, right? But they're really worried, the Pact members, because they don't want that to happen again, especially because we know so far that even an actual lord, a Stygian lord, defected to stop Raoul because he literally wants to wipe everything from existence. So this is epic level threat. Anyway, you go into the
It is a
church.
Little Rock.
What was that, Tower?
It is Little Rock. You can tell because there's a station wagon parked out front.
Yes. Well, I tend to
Picture.
get actual imagery when I can. Tower.
Mhm. Yeah,
This is a real place in Little Rock. It's real.
I appreciate you.
I like it. It's a pretty little old colonial fort, isn't it? But nevertheless, you guys go inside, of course, with any church. They tend to be open during daylight hours, which it is. It is currently 9 a.m. in the morning, just so you know, here in Little Rock. And the church is open. There's some people milling around. Of course, there's no services. This is let's say it's Monday, and but people are milling around. You see a couple of maybe deacons and a couple of ladies. You're not as Baptist. You can't really identify them well. They don't have a very good uniform system. But you guys are standing in the church. What do you want to do?
Lady,
Uh,
I'm guessing you got a picture of this guy as well.
You do. Palatine Okale.
Okay. Do we
Show
happen to
them the
see this
picture.
guy, or no?
You do have a picture of him. This is what he looks like.
Do we happen to see him here,
Nope.
or no? Okay.
Probably a basement.
Well, if he's
Remember the
staying,
last church we were in?
yeah, no, I know. I'm going to go up to the minister or someone who works here, and I'll ask to speak to the minister. I'll present my DOJ badge.
Well, hello, officer. You're talking to a very dainty man. And he is dressed in a suit, very prim and proper. He says, "Well, the preacher is not currently in, but I'm sure I can be of help to you."
Um, so I know if this place is connected to like is actually part of the whole Dove, or not Dove, but like the Umbral network, like the place in Boston was.
You wouldn't,
Okay. I'm looking for
lady.
a
Might.
man. Yeah. I'm looking for a man. I showed the picture. Palatine Okale.
Oh, Mr. Okale. Oh, yes, he is. We are very happy to have him here. He's restoring and updating all of our rectory.
Oh well, that's quite impressive.
It
Do I
is.
need to roll it to find out if it is connected to Dove?
You probably wouldn't have to roll for that, I would
No, you
assume.
don't have
Okay.
to
Probably just
roll.
database.
I'll find out.
This Little Rock does have a small vault.
Okay.
Looking
All
up
right,
floor
cool.
plans. Finding it.
I'll just ask if I can speak to Palatine if he's available.
Oh, certainly. Follow me. And he goes walking off in his dainty way. And you guys follow him. He goes. You're in the nave, of course, where you were. He goes toward the back through a door into the back part, and he comes into a rectory area. There are tables, books, artifacts, all kind of things you would expect to see in a rectory. And you see Palatine sitting at a desk, uh, seemingly copying out a book by hand, like the old scribes used to do.
is
I what were you saying, Puff?
we should
Oh,
approach with a certain form of respect. Such practices have been lost to history.
I'm always respectful. I put my hands on my collar. Um, I go walking up with like greetings, Mr. Okale.
He looks up from his work and he says, "Yes, how may I help you?"
Oh, I'm Agent Lyons. These are my associates. It seems we work for the same people. And I show him the badge.
He says,
Uh,
"Yes. Well, it's been a while since I've been to an office."
yeah, all things considered, understandable. Uh, I need to speak with you. I'm keeping an eye out for deception, by the way. So if he
Sure.
does try anything, just have me roll for it.
Hmm.
Um, so I sit down. I'm like, or oh, actually, I'm like, Is there anyone else in this room or no? Is it just us?
There is a rather portly lady dusting.
Mind if we speak in private?
He looks at you, takes the drag off, picks a cigarette up out of the ashtray, takes the drag off, and he says, "Sure, Amy, can you give me the room?" She nods her head and waddles out.
I've been told on good authority that you happen to know the whereabouts of an individual by the name of Sidon.
Seeing as that is my entire job, yes, in general.
See, we need to find this individual.
Why, might I ask?
You could say it's important business, dove business.
He stands up from whence he was sitting. He pulls out a medallion, and he's not being rude, but he walks past all of you and goes to Jaro, and he says, "I doubt that you remember me. We met about 180 years ago. I was young at the time."
Can I roll to remember him?
If you wanted to, sure.
What would I roll for that?
I would say that would be a difficult roll, seeing as so long ago. So I'd set it as a 15, which is difficult. If we come over to the dice, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your mental, okay?
Hmm.
Then you're going to choose one of your distinctions that you think would apply most to memory, right?
Probably my mental distinction of observing.
Oh, well, that's perfect, right? Use that dice. And then we're going to add your no dice.
Okay.
Okay.
Which
Eh,
is a. Okay, well, all right, cool.
no has a standard die, and then it usually has specializations under it. You must have a no because you get one for free.
Mhm.
But you have no in general no anyway. And then anything you might have you think that would apply. So in this case, I'm going to help you out. Okay. So we have 3 dice so far. I would add your regeneration. So
Okay.
why would I make that argument? Can you think of a way why I would say that might apply?
Because
No,
my
not
brain has not deteriorated in all these years.
yes. Yes, exactly. So think about that when you're trying to put dice pools together, right? Think about
Could
how
I
anything could apply. Yeah,
could I also add my occult if he was traveled those circles?
you most certainly could.
Right.
But,
And I
but
guess. Yep.
in order to add another trait from a trait list, right? You must spend a
Hmm.
PowerPoint to do that. Okay. So, for instance, if you're in a combat situation where normally you'd use physical, but you think either taunting or battlefield knowledge might apply, you could spend a
Hmm.
PowerPoint to add your mental or your social into the role. You can do that, right? Of course, skills are a different trait set, right? Same
Hmm.
thing there. So you could add both of them, but you would have to spend a PowerPoint. More than likely, you should choose the highest of the other because I don't know how important this role is to be burning PowerPoints on. Now,
Yeah.
keep in mind, everyone starts the session with 1 PowerPoint. I'm going to start you with 5, however. Okay.
Okay. I will keep my PowerPoints and roll these dice as I believe. I got it.
Okay. Well, that's not how it works. You just missed it. Okay. So what we do is we take uh, 2 of the dice and we add them together. Now, you do have a 15 there, and I understand why you think you passed. But in this game, you must surpass the number, right?
Ah,
So you need
okay.
a 16 actually. So you just missed it. And of course, we could put that 5 on there as an effect die, because in skill rolls you don't usually need effect. It can just show how well you did it at a thing. It depends on the situation whether it's applied or not. In this
Oh, okay.
situation, as we stand now, you could spend a PowerPoint, add the 2 in, and you would succeed. I don't know if it's worth a PowerPoint, but you could. But as we stand right now, you vaguely remember him. You
I
don't know
will.
from when or where.
I'll keep it as a vague memory, and you seem familiar, sir. But I apologize for my lack of detailed
Oh no.
remembrance, kind sir.
I was a child at the time. I do not expect you to remember me. However, it is an honor to see you again, sir. And he holds up the medallion. He is a member of the Order of the Phoenix. Um, uh, Towers character. So, what's the occult numbers? Give me an occult update. GOP.
Well, his occult would still be a 12 because I mean it was
I'm not
already a
talking
12.
about him. I'm talking about you and lady.
Oh,
Um,
my occult is still a D8.
Okay, lady.
So
D8,
Okay.
D8.
Um, you guys, maybe you might have heard of that in passing. You're not sure. It doesn't sound very familiar. You just seem to remember some kids movie that had it in there. But Tower, you do know what the Order of the Phoenix is, and these are the lore keepers of the Pact.
very interesting.
Yeah.
I I let GOP and Lady know this, and our newfound friend. I'm not sure if he knows it or not.
he also has a D12 in his occult, so he
He
definitely would be
does, but
aware.
more
Yeah.
importantly, he knows Palatine is showing it to him for a reason, right? And so, of course, Jaro, you know exactly who the Order of the Phoenix are. They are librarians. They're lore keepers. They're very important, although they don't get any limelight ever. But obviously, they're very important people.
They're the
But
watchers of the wall on the wall.
well, they're librarians, is what they are.
Yeah.
Lore keepers. But he continues speaking, and he says that. I've been in this post for 23 years, and this is the first time anyone has come and asked me anything about Sidon. Please tell me what is going on.
I will hold out my. I mean, I will take out one of my axes. While I am acclimated, I'm still a barbarian at heart, and just kind of, it's his time.
I
We
see.
have been, we have been tasked to remove a chaotic element to the equation of defeating the Elder Demon.
Raul.
Yes.
I see it has come to that. Are,
If we,
I don't mean to question you, Lord, but you do realize what you're facing.
I do. But we have few options. The Council has instructed us to remove him for if we were to use his artifact to approach Raoul, then he might spite us out of pure glee and ruin everything.
I see. I understand. Now, keep in mind, you do have an item on you, Jaro. It's not
Mm-hmm.
magical. It doesn't, but it would be considered like a contact asset that I'm giving you. So you should write this down. You are a member of the Elohim.
Okay.
Now, there are hundreds of members of the Elohim. Like I said, the real power you guys just met, some of them, right? Those are the
Mm-hmm.
actual power. But you are initially on honorary member, but you do occasionally sit down in the boring room when they have meetings every decade or three.
Mm-hmm.
But you are an official member. You do have a seal of the Elohim, a ring, a signet ring. Just write that down. You never know when it could be useful, right?
Will do.
Especially in this situation. But nevertheless, he understands completely now what's going on. He seems sad.
Um, while he's talking, can I telepathically communicate with Lady and ask her just in case, make sure she's got her the eye of Mimir on, just to
Yes,
make sure there's no funny business
she
with this guy?
integrated that into Paul, didn't she?
Okay, I was just making sure. But
Didn't you,
I'm
lady? I thought you
And
did
Paul
something like that.
always records things, so yeah, I see
Right,
and hear everything.
right.
It's
Okay.
truthful.
She's
Yeah.
doing that. She already did that, which was a good idea, by the way. Did I give you? I didn't give you anything for that.
You didn't give me no stats,
So
no.
so take a well. I don't even need stats, but take a PowerPoint just because it was a good idea.
Okay.
But
I'm
to with the recording of Paul, just to backtrack for a second, when you were in the room, Lord Sid, one of the inner circle that you were talking to, looks just
Yeah.
like you in GOP.
Okay. That
Yeah.
figures.
This guy right here, uh, he's just a human. He's not tethered. He's old, uh, but he is a member of the order, right?
That's the reason why he's so old, yeah.
Yeah.
true. I was
So
just making sure he's that, like, because I mean the other guy's a shapeshifter, so
oh no, I understand. But
yeah.
you know, Tactus doesn't really know him, but the order is very large group. But you know, he's just a wizard, and he's not a combat guy. He's a information based guy. But no, he's not lying. He's not deceiving. He's not a shapeshifter. Keep in mind that Sidon has gone by many names. When he was in hiding in the northern countries, he went by the name Loki.
I am going to put my hand on his shoulder and just tell him, you were strong then and you are strong now to endure this. Anyone who can gather the records, either gleeful or terrible in history, is one with strength. I know that you will rise to this challenge as much as all of us must.
I shall do my best.
And I
Sidon.
will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I have the ability, like, to do cosmetic alterations on my axes?
What do you mean?
I was going to basically etch his name into the handle, like make it appear like his name is on the handle, so that he can come with us into battle. Because you said that librarians never get any limelight. Well, now he can be part of the legend.
Sure, why not? There's no reason not to. So yeah, you can cosmetically alter the axes as well. They've been with you so long that you have become entwined with them magically. So
I'll just. Yep.
okay, he says thank you for that, Lord Jaro, and he says that well, Sidon does not go more than a few days without taking a life. Therefore, I'm sure it will be soon. I will get a contact from the local police department. It's been 2 days since he's killed, and he explains everything and answers any question you have in regards to what he knows about Sidon and stuff before lunchtime. So we don't have to necessarily role play that out. Just if you have any kind of question or information you want about Sidon, that's the dude. So
If we well, I guess out of character, if we do happen to find out where this guy is, considering he knows where the amulet is making people go, maybe not using it anymore since we're in the same town he's in might make sense. Just because there'd be a heads up to him that somebody's onto him.
Palatine, respond. He's not meek, but he is soft spoken. He does respond to that. Sidon knew you were here before you even thought of coming here.
Fair point. Just hard to track a guy down who doesn't want to be found and also knows when people are looking for him.
True, but he doesn't know why.
Also true.
He doesn't even know who, but he will be suspicious, especially you using his artifact. He certainly is aware when that happens, as he is with all his little devices that have found their way across the galaxy. Any other questions?
They have a weakness?
Not that I know of. I do know
I
that he has the ability to control people.
That's
me
great.
having encountered Sidon multiple times,
You
I
have,
guess
yes.
I would know these things and basically be refreshing my memory as I listen to him.
Yes. The only big difference is Sidon has had uh, you know, 10,000 years,
Hmm.
where, you're very old, but he's had 10,000 years. Who knows what kind of adaptations he's added? But that is true. You do have a certain knowledge of Sidon, and people tend to lean on their character, don't they?
Hmm.
He answers that question. Anything else?
Yeah, and they hear her say "fuck" underneath her breath.
Yes. Well,
Hmm.
you're dealing with an elder. You're one of the Altalani. They are very powerful, right?
Indeed.
I hand him my card and I trust you'll give me a call the second anything goes down.
He says that certainly, but I don't know that you need to go anywhere. If I can get close to his victim, I'll be able to track him.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying for the whenever the next victim because he does it every few days or so.
Right.
All right.
But I have contacts in the local police, and I always go and record, of course. But I can track him through his victims.
All right. Well, that sounds good to me. So, yeah, because the only thing I was just not sure about was like, were we going to go to like a past victim, like the one that just happened a couple days before? Or are we gonna go, just
No,
wait?
you're waiting. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to
Okay.
wait.
So that's what
I'm
I
just
gave him the card because I don't. It might not even happen today. You
true,
know.
but ask your questions first before we get into that kind of thinking.
I'll ask him. I'll tell him what I know of Sidon and ask what new, if any new tricks that he has developed over the years.
He listens to you intently, and he says that it sounds like he is far more debased than when you knew him. He revels in the suffering of others. Not only that of his victims, you should prepare yourself, by the way, but also for their families and loved ones. He has always done this, as you know, but I think he's far more sadistic.
So the man has gone from a wildfire to a swarm of flies, hollowing out the corpses of his victims, both spiritually and physically.
And sometimes literally.
I've seen many wars, but I do not like seeing grotesque forms. I've seen enough of those in my dreams.
Okay. Any other questions?
That'll be most pertinent. Whenever we are faced with Sidon, is there any way we can prevent him from using his own artifact in our possession to escape us?
Palatine says that um, he doubts that he can use something that he doesn't possess. He seriously doubts that.
Hey, Sheldon, how are you doing?
Then I will nod and thank him. Um, I'll ask if there's any place that, while we wait, where I can do a little bit of, warming up. You don't want
Certainly.
to just go swinging axes like these willy nilly in a room.
He walks across the room to one of the bookcases. He rotates the head of a statue, as you do, and the bookcase opens, and there's a stairwell going down. In down here, there is a locked. It's a small vault. It's not as big as the one in Boston, but there are some artifacts that are protected by this church. Most major cities have at least a vault. Whether it's connected to Dove or not doesn't matter, but because you never know when artifacts will pop up, and you never know when they'll be made. Sometimes artifacts get made from the emotion of an event, right? So there is a small vault here, but in front of that there is a large area. It's mainly set up as a kind of priestly space, but there's plenty of room here for you to practice.
Mhm.
And the rest of you can follow down if you want. Anybody else have any other questions?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. He does spend the rest of the morning just kind of reviewing his notes and going over and see if there's anything he can glean to be of help to you. When lunchtime comes around, he does stand up and he walks over and he says, "Well, I am hungry. Would you like to taste the fare of Little Rock?"
Oh man, I'm famished. I'd love to.
I guess
Sounds
I'm
like a plan.
downstairs.
Okay.
No, we'll bring you up. Just let's go eat. Come on.
So he takes you out. He jumps in an old beat up van, of course, church owned. And he takes you down the street to, it's clearly an eating street. There's lots of restaurants here. He goes into a place called Sally's. He says, if you don't mind, I'll take the liberty of ordering. He doesn't really wait for a response. He just calls the waitress and makes an order. You hear a lot of weird things: fried pickles, lots of fried shit, actually. But he says with quite reverence the last thing, and a platter of fried catfish.
Yeah.
The food comes. And of course, in Little Rock, the most famous food they have is fried catfish. But they have a lot of fried things. Weird. Or Little Rock's cuisine is a bit weird. However, you guys dig in to this table of very homey food. And it is quite delicious, particularly the little yogurt dips. You guys have yourself a nice little lunch. He's a little bit more relaxed, and he kind of talks about Little Rock a little bit, gives you a little history of the place, and that this place actually was initially an magical outpost. It wasn't for the humans. It was a secluded kind of secret place at one time. And of course, Tower's character knows this. And he's giving this information, and this place is buzzing. This is clearly one of the more popular places in Little Rock. It's packed, and it's pretty big. And you guys enjoy the fair. Unless you have any questions about Little Rock, which I doubt you do, you enjoy your meal and continue on. The rest of the day passes by until about 9 o'clock at night. So, for that 9 hour stretch, is there anything you want to do?
I do inquire. So why is a guy like this even in Little Rock? I mean, it seems odd for an ancient being. Does he like the catfish?
I do not know. I do not know his lair. I can track him. Occasionally I see him, but it is not my job to confront him.
Good point.
This is not the first place. I have been on Sidon for 50 years. The first place he was in was Birmingham, Alabama, and he stayed there for longer than he's been here. I do not know why he likes this place or why he liked Birmingham. I do not know why. But he does stay in a place and he hunts for a very long time.
I take a bite of the catfish and I'm like, I still bet it's a food.
It might be. It's actually very good. Little Rock is actually has some excellent food, which is why I put it in here. There are a few great little food cities in America. St. Louis is one for sure, not far away from here. Little Rock, Arkansas, of course, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, or even Nashville, et cetera, et cetera. There's some really good food cities in the South.
Oh yeah, I
Our
live just
Yeah.
a little away from Nashville.
Yeah, yeah, no, I've spent some time in Nashville myself. I used to do the Eastern Circuit as a musician, and I always enjoyed stopping in Nashville, dude.
Hmm. Good
Really,
food.
Using
really good food. Yeah.
using Paul and whatever kind of database she can get into with him, uh, ask him about the other occurrences when he feeds, or as you call it, kills other things, kills people, and
Well,
see if there's some kind of mapping algorithm that Paul can figure out.
um, he has his database has been digified, of course, and he does give it to you. Polish crunches on it during that period, and not particularly. No.
Mhm.
He just and he does correct you. Palatine does. He doesn't feed.
Tortures.
It's pleasure for him. Meaning he's
All
not a
right.
vampire. He's not one of those things that actually needs to sustain themselves off the energy of others. There are, you guys have met many, right?
Yeah.
He's not one of those. He's one of the elders. And it's still a bit of a mystery how the elders came to be anyway, right? Because so many other factions that came out, especially with demons, came out later to figure out how to take the lingering spirit and connect it to a mortal body. Most of those, the old ones, were not great, right? Only a few of the ancient methods still exist today. One of them being the vampires, because it has many flaws, but it's extremely powerful as well. So it's survived. Many of them have not because they were inferior. And of course, as time went by, you started getting much better methods for connecting the spirit to the body, thus creating demons. Oh, by the way, um, Jaro, you are a demon.
Mm.
I don't know if I've specified that.
Uh,
Now, what that means in this world, I know you're new. All that means is you had died and were
mhm,
reconnected to your body. That you're one of those type. Some will die and reconnect to any old body, and this is often considered illegal in these days. The other ones get away with it because, well, it's their body; they can do what they want with it, right?
mhm,
But because you are one of the Atalani, and you know how the Atalani did what they did, but we're not going to talk
mhm.
about that for right now. Okay.
Nope.
But you are
Gotcha.
technically considered a demon. You're not like these guys.
Uh, okay.
Okay. It doesn't
Uh,
mean anything. It's just classification, really.
So we
okay.
have our
Um,
night on the town,
Right.
and all that.
I have a. Do I? Um, this is just a question for my character. See, they don't know what my abilities are yet,
No.
but with improved strength, does that classify to improve metabolism? So, like, do they get a bunch of food for them, and I get an equal amount of food? To like, do I have to eat like Goku?
And not unless you want to.
Yeah,
If
probably
you
Okay,
more
want
of
I
to
a
limit
wasn't sure.
yourself in that way, go right ahead. Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was just eating mostly meat.
Yeah, well, this game doesn't have flaws or weaknesses in
Okay.
it per se. It's more
Okay.
character development. The special effects sometimes will have they tend to have some cost, right? The
Mhm.
next system we are going to play here on this channel, I'm not sure exactly when, will be Savage Worlds. And I am going to run a Savage Worlds campaign. And when I do that, one of the things I love about Savage Worlds the most is the fact that in order to build your character, you must have flaws.
Mhm.
And of course, that drives character interaction and role playing, right? But yeah, you can have that kind of metabolism if you want, no problem.
Mhm.
Anybody else have anything they want to do during those 9 hours? Tower lady.
Yeah, 9 hours. I'm gonna rest up and let Paul do his thing and take a nap.
Hmm.
Probably lean against the big guy,
Well,
Puffin's character.
Tower, anything? Okay.
He's
So
muted.
it's
Yeah.
around 9 o'clock at night. Lady, you're looking at the potential algorithm that Paul's been working on from all the information that Palatine had given you, all his data over the years of tracking, not just here, also in Birmingham. He has brought up everything up to the modern time, and you don't see any particular pattern. Little patterns here or there, sure, but nothing particular. He just seems to be an opportunist, right? He's not some and the reason and of course Jaro can tell you this, and Palatine as well. He's not crazy. He's not. He's just
Mhm.
devilish.
Sadistic.
Yes, sadistic and devilish. He's not crazy at all. Crazy people are the ones that tend to leave patterns, right? Because there's some modus operandi going on in their brain. This isn't this.
Mhm.
He's just enjoys the suffering of others. And
Mhm.
he's obviously obsessed and addicted. That's clear, because he can't go a few days. That's a lot of bodies if you do the math, right? Lots
Mhm.
of bodies. But seeing as millions of people go missing worldwide every year, it's not hard to get away with it, really. But anyway, it is 9:03 at night, and Palatine gets a call, and he says, "Well, we didn't have to wait that long. He has struck." So he puts his coat on, grabs his stuff, and says, "Come on, I'll take you." You all pile into the van, and he drives not far. It was about maybe 7, 8 minutes away from where he is. Little Rock isn't that big a place, really, and because it's 9 at night during a weekday, there's not much traffic either. But he gets over onto Baseline Road, and he comes to a stop, and he gets out and says, "She's up on the fifth floor," and you guys follow. Now you come up on the fifth floor. This is a dingy-looking building. It's almost derelict in classification. But it's very dirty and dingy. There's garbage all over the place. There's seemingly meth addicts outside leaning up against the walls, incoherently babbling at each other. You guys take the stairs because the lift doesn't work, the elevator, sorry. And you get yourself up there, and the hallway is full of cops. There's got to be, I don't know, 7 that you could see, and they're chatting with each other. And the younger ones seem to be quite disturbed. The other older ones are eating donuts. He walks through them, and they all kind of nod at him. They all seemingly know him. You come into the apartment room itself. There's another 5 police officers in here doing. These ones are actually working. They seem to be forensics individuals. He walks up to one of the police in this room, and she is a middle-aged woman, and he says, "So what we got, Mary?" Mary says, "Well, it's another one of my own." He says, "Yeah, he does like that name. Yeah, maybe it's just a coincidence." She's in the bathroom. So Palatine looks back at you. He kind of nods, and you guys go into the bathroom, and this is what you see.
Oh, yeah. That's
Reminds me of the blood cultivars gone.
Mm. She has been her. You can't, of course. I had to restrict what kind of picture I put on YouTube, right? But as you get closer to the water, you can see she's been completely hollowed out, right? The room is just splattered in blood. She hasn't been dead that long. Matter of fact, Palantine, whilst you guys look at the room, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to do what you want here, but he's talking to the detective, and they were called to this site because of a seemingly domestic. And that's why the police showed up. So she hasn't been dead very long. Matter of fact,
Ooh,
rigor has not even fully set in yet. There is a forensic pathologist in the room, and you can see as they're moving, he's moving limbs and stuff like that. It hasn't really set in. So this happened a very short time ago. Written on the wall
wait.
there above, which you can't, it's not in the picture, but you can see that something has been written. You see a well, it's that kind of standard stylized dove of peace, written in blood. And in Latin, above it, it says, welcome.
I'm almost getting a feeling that this was meant for us.
Where is the child? She's a single mother, yes? Where's the child?
Yes, because you're looking at the data sheet that's coming up because, lady gets that, right? She has that very quickly. That's why I put this information. This is Paul, is what you're looking at. Yes. Where's the child?
If he goes after family, where is the child?
The cops in the room hear you asking this, and the detective's like, oh yeah, there is a child. Where's the child? All of a sudden, they're panicking, and the cops in the hallway come in. They start looking around the room and looking under stuff, searching stuff because they completely missed it. Shocking, cops. Whilst they are doing that, what are you for doing?
I'll let everyone else speak first. I have to take a bail break.
Okay, we'll start with GOP. Go ahead.
I ask, I ask Jaro. Oh no, I'm not Jaro. I ask our contact here.
Palatine.
So how do you? Yeah, Palatine. Um, so uh, so how do you track this guy, anyways?
Oh yes, he comes over and because the room is in a panic. The cops are running around this place, searching under everything, destroying any forensics there might have been, looking for another body or a child. Right, so there is panic and noise going on in the room. Palatine walks in. He walks past you, and he takes his hand. He puts it into the water, into the empty cavity of the woman, and you see the water and her begin to glow slightly. And he's concentrating. And before I answer, Tower, what are you doing?
I am. I'm just gonna go and help GOP with whatever he's doing.
Okay, lady will answer at the end. Jaro.
I am scowling at these upholders of justice for not thinking of finding the one potential survivor or more innocent victim.
Well, you've become a little, unfortunately, accustomed to it. You've been
Yeah.
working with Dove. You've had to interact with police on many occasions.
Yeah, it hurts my warrior's soul to see what has
Sure.
become of humanity.
Now I do have a question, because you like I said, were made an honorary member of the Elohim because of your
Mm-hmm.
age, and you've actually partaken in. No one had a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you have a because you're at that, you would be involved in any kind of world-shaking thing as you are here. But there are two questions you need to answer while we wait for Lady.
Mm-hmm.
One, are you a member of the Pact? Now, the pact was created after the last war, which is really bad, right? You were kind
Mm-hmm.
of, in essence, found and thought out to help with it, which you did. Um, and after the war was done, the Veil Wars, the many factions around the world came together and created a new faction called the Pact to try to police the world and make sure nothing like that happened again. So, is your character a member of the Pact or not?
Since his I think that he would not be. He's more of a consultant because, in his mind, he almost has, I wouldn't really call it madness, but kind of, close. He's kind of like, my foes are the elder gods. And, policing the world isn't what I'm supposed to do. I'm trying to find these threats and eliminate them, and PAX just put more paperwork in my, more
Fair,
red tape in my path.
fair enough. The other question is, because you're introduced to these guys because they hold Excalibur, right?
Hmm.
What is your relationship with Dove?
My relationship with Dove is I was a originally sought. No, what does Dove do? They're the
Okay.
police.
Dove is the modern American name for, and it stands for the Department of Umbral Verification and Enforcement. And But you know where this is coming from. Dove
Mhm.
is something that's been around forever under different names. It is a group that the Elohim itself, the Congress or the United Nations of umbral beings, right, is what it is, right? It's basically their enforcement arm.
Have been one of those that trained the first Dove agents and
Sure.
soldiers?
Easy enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's something, like I said, your characters from when all that stuff was coming together, right? And Like I said, the Elohim just means collection of gods, right? But
Hmm.
they like in United Nations. And They realized they needed to have their own enforcement group, own detective and research groups to you know, seek their ends, right? And
Hmm.
that's what Dove is. Now, in the world at large, with all the factions that exist, including the largest one now, which is the Pact, but that encompasses literally over 1,000 smaller factions, right? Um,
Hmm.
uh, in amongst them, Dove is not always the happiest thing for them to see, right?
Hmm.
Because it is connected to the Elohim, and some of them take offense to this. For instance, in Boston, the actual supposed authority of Boston is the Boston Umbral Affairs, but Dove power supersedes everything on the mortal realm.
Yeah, so I would say that I was one of the people that actually trained the first Dove members.
Okay,
Taught them how to fight, taught them what they're fighting.
so you're positive toward Dove then. Okay. Uh,
I'm positive toward Dove, kind of, about the pact itself.
Sure. The pact and the dove
Once
are
evil, always
separate
evil.
things. Well, they're two separate things. I mean, most of Dove members are members of the pact because the Elohim has backed the idea of the pact because it is important. But not all Dove agents are pact members. Not all are. Right. Matter of fact, you've met one or two who aren't. Right. But okay, I just needed to know where your character stands on that. Lady, what are you doing before I continue?
Yes, sir. Previously, um, there was a comment saying one of you, their own, one of your own, one of her own,
Yes,
and he
that's
called
exactly the
her
same.
Mary, and then her name is married. Were all these deaths named married?
No, not even
Okay,
close. No,
all right.
but there have been several. Yeah,
I
more
will
more
go
than
and
several,
ask
many.
her for specific. Why did you call her one of your own?
I think
Okay,
that was, yeah.
I know it's
it was
something
just
vague, but
offhand conversation, but that's okay. You're over
okay.
there because you're very close. It's a small apartment, so you just take a step literally next to Palantine and ask her
Yeah.
that question, and she begins to answer. However, because Palantine is kneeling down at this point, he's got a hand in literally in the cavity of this dead woman, and the water and the woman are glowing. The police around that can see it aren't surprised. They've seen this before. They know kind of what he is. He's in concentration, and then all of a sudden he's like, "No, no," and he gets to stand up, and then in the other room, in the window, from the glow of the nighttime of the city, you see a child.
You lady, use your eye. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Camera action. Looking at my camera.
This thing, you know exactly what this is immediately, but I'll play it out.
Okay.
The little girl speaks. She's drinking some hot beverage, by the way. And she says, "Well, the master was right. He suspected someone would be here, and look who we got. I didn't expect to see you so soon. Do you remember me? Oh, maybe you don't recognize me in this form. How about like this?" Now, of course, lady, with your ability to see the truth of things with the eye of Mimir, you know exactly who that is. It's been a while. Case file
Oh my
number one.
god.
So this bitch is back.
The bitch is back. Sorry, Puffin.
Wait, I thought case one was the astronaut.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, from the
Exactly.
astronaut case. Yeah.
Did you
she
remember what
was
happened with that?
Yeah, she escaped.
She did.
I would know because I was there.
Oh, that's true. You weren't there. But two of you in the room know who he, and Palatine, of course, knows something's up as well, because he sensed her by doing what he was doing. And she is referring to the master, and she says, "Do you remember me? Have you seen what I can do now?" She glows. And as you guys had seen before, you saw some tentacle stuff on her at the end of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
And she opens her coat, and of course she's transformed into a woman now. She was a little kid, and the tentacles come out and just absolutely begin to obliterate this room. Heads are dropping from cops. These tentacles are ripping through body armor. It's just absolute chaos and devastation instantly in this room.
I'm
Yeah, initiative.
okay.
Okay,
that's
Actually, don't I think I have what was mine again? 40 something
it is pretty
with
high.
the accelerator.
More than likely, you guys are going to beat
yours
her. Hers is it's not bad though. I mean, she is sitting on a 32, so it's not horrible. You know,
with
I'm
the bump.
usually
Yeah, with the bump tower, you're at 44 now.
yeah.
That's about.
And what are you at GOP? I know you're higher than her.
Yeah. Let me pull mine up, but I think I'm like 34, so I'm just
Okay.
only a little bit
Just
above.
a little bit. Lady, you're 18 last I remember.
How do remind Puffin how to do initiative?
Remind Puffin, yeah. Mental, physical added together and any other specialties you might have. Move, I think
So
it is.
Yeah, I'm still at 18. Yeah.
move would count. Also, if you have anything in your distinctions that references like movements or speed or whatever,
Yeah.
that can also count.
So my mental and physical attribute, any distinctions?
And
Okay.
your move.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
have an increase in movement, that
Okay,
counts as well.
21 then.
I'm at 34 then.
18,
34.
19,
Okay.
20,
Yeah, no,
21. 21. Yeah.
the heroes tend to go first in combat in this system, I've noticed. But
Except for me. I guess I'm
except for
not a
you.
hero.
So Tower, GOP, and Puffin will go at the same time. She will go, and then we will end up with Lady, as usual. But that's okay, Lady. Well, no, your power's on the other side. Now, keep in mind, you upped your TK to 12.
Yeah.
Right? Now you
Yep.
had a bonus free power to take with that. What did you take?
We took shield, remember?
Shield. I suggested it. I thought it would be good for you.
I have healed, shield, and the net or restraint, whatever you want to call it.
Heal.
No, hit, shield,
Oh,
and restrain
strike. Okay. Cool.
or strike.
Um,
Okay.
all right. Now, because of the kid, her whole thing, in essence, she got a surprise round on the room, not you. Right. However, her action that happened instantly, and then you guys are moving into action, she took out half the cops instantly, dude. instantly,
Well, fuck.
right?
Um,
And she is. I'm using this thing, but basically all you see is this floating head in a mass of black tentacles, right? With red tips, crimson covered, and she has multi-attack as a default, just so you understand.
Damn.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so this is going to be a little different. A lot of times when I attack in a round, I choose one of you. When it's my turn, everyone gets hit. And the way it works is she is a constant AoE. Okay, that's her. That's one of her abilities. But yeah, welcome back to the Harlot. Nice, huh? We brought her back on GOP. You were waiting. I
Yep,
know you were. You knew I
I
would.
was.
You knew I would. But here she is. Just so you know, Tower and Puffin, this
Mhm.
was the ultimate baddie from Case File 1. And
Mhm.
of course, the whole time they didn't know she was the baddie. Matter of fact, they probably thought she was the victim, because the diva was your focus on who you thought was bad, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but it turned out she was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and she escaped. She got away. And that's over a year ago, in game time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. This is a bit of a blast for the past from all the viewers, and of course, GOP and
This
Lacey.
is only session 12. It hasn't been a year.
13.
No,
13. In
in
game. In
in
game. In
Okay,
game.
in game term time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
where did she
Sheldon
go?
says kick, scratch, and kick.
Right. Well, one of the things that I had mentioned in case file 1, but it had no relevance to you, right? It was that her spell that was being cast, which they kind of fumbled on, really, because they were amateurs. It ended up working out for her in the end, because you guys weren't focused on the right thing, which you weren't supposed to be. So it's not your fault. But one of the things I did mention in that was that the spell was Sidonian, right?
Mhm.
And of course, now here we are chasing Sidon himself, right? So there was a connection day one to where we are. And so it makes perfect sense that she's here, right? Because she is with Sidon. Nevertheless, he is her master. Uh, Tower, dude, you have a nasty thing sitting in front of you that is just murder-lating this room. What do you want to do?
well, this is going to be an interesting one because I'm going to use my newfound bitch of a weapon. I will unsheath the sword,
Yes,
and
no, you should. Yeah.
yes. Um, now here's the fun thing because I don't have any shortcuts for this because I just figured out what it does.
hmm
I need to figure out how I can properly use this thing for maximum whoop ass.
No,
Um.
yeah.
Um,
Go ahead, GP.
So it can be used. I'm guessing it can be used as a magical conduit. I would assume, right?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, then I guess you would have to put another D12 on top of what I sent you because I didn't have that in there before. So just for your offensive magic, just yeah, that's a 4 D12 out of 3.
Although Excalibur is
oh,
intended to be used as a melee weapon, though.
Okay, so but can it be used as a conduit then or no?
Well, I mean, I misunderstood what you meant. Does it add dice to him doing casting fireballs? No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. It's meant to be swung, and
yeah, how do I
it does protect you.
essentially? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what my dice
Well, you
pool
take your
in
physical, you
benefits.
take whatever distinction applies, you take your
Yeah.
fight, you take all the bonuses that that thing gives you, and then you take the D12 that it is itself, and you add them all together and you roll your dice.
Okay.
So for you it'd be D10, uh, D8, another D8, and uh, D12.
You
I feel like
guys
that's a
wrote
low.
down all the stats I gave you, didn't you?
No, I'm
Okay.
just going through because I didn't have a shortcut for his physical
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't either.
Okay.
It might be better just to use your regular fireball then.
If it makes him feel better, if he can't wield the sword himself, I can wield him wielding the sword and hit it with
You
it.
All
could.
right, you do
You
have the
could.
strength to do it.
You do.
No, just use your regular, just use your fire attack because that's gonna
What if
do
I
more
use
damage right
what
now.
if I use a 3 power point to add the D20?
You could, but I
Do you
You
mean,
have
had 3 power
right now?
points.
I have like 4 or 5. Let's see. I have 4, so I could do it. Fuck.
But this is not the major
yeah,
battle.
I'd say save that. Just hit her with your fire attack, and just with the
Yeah.
stuff I
Okay. Let's
idea.
see. 3D12. Yeah. 3D12, D10, D8, D4. Do. Loading the dice app. 3D.
Ooh.
Fuck. I
Wait,
rolled.
what did
Wait,
you?
was that? Wait, what just
What?
happened?
No, what did you? Oh, that's Chester's roll.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh.
I was very confused. I'm like, wait, what did you just roll?
All right. Of course,
3D12,
in combat, because I'm initiating it, I roll my dice first, right? Tower, take 2 power points.
Oh, that
Okay.
was Chester's roll. That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah,
I
I was
thought
very.
that was his roll.
Oh, it is funny.
Uh,
It is funny.
Okay, so that's 20 with the D12 effects for you. Yeah.
Yes. Now, she fails completely. You got to get your hit in, and so there's
And
no need to
multiple hero
re-roll
dice.
that. However, you guys weren't really paying attention, I think, because there is someone in the room faster than everybody. The cat.
What
Well,
the fuck is that?
we didn't know that, so
Yes, well,
yeah.
it was there, right?
Mhm.
This
the
is
Shaga.
an octokitty, so
Jesus
beware.
Christ.
It's a
It's
kraken kitty.
lightning fast. It is literally a quickling demon, and it's going to try to counter your attack on its mistress. So that's going to be, let me see, I need a 10, a 12. Oh, I got it over here. I don't have to do that. Okay, let me go over here and make my roll. All right, so I get this,
I think my
this,
fire blast is gonna singe the fuck out of
this,
that demon
and
puss.
this. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a roll here. All right. Now,
From a successful defense,
yes,
which means
I'm
someone would have
trying.
to
I'm trying.
succeed.
Give
Okay.
me give me a second.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a successful defense is what I'm trying to do. So, and I didn't do very well, but we'll see. What's your role here, Tower? Tower has a 20
20.
with a D12 kicker as it stands. Now, before I do that, are you going to spend any power points at all, Tower?
Um, fuck. I feel like this would actually. I don't know if it's a PowerPoint, but I don't know if I could use my jack of all trade things to turn the light off, so we could put our night vision goggles on to disorient her.
That wouldn't
That would
be
do
in this
anything.
action. You've already taken your action. We're in dice rolling PowerPoint spending mode.
You know,
Okay.
it might be a good idea just to add that 3, just to give it a little bit extra, because Tower's going to be, or not Tower, but Chester's going to be bumping that stuff up.
Yeah, I'll bump it up.
Yeah, so spend a point to add that 3, so it's a 23.
I thought
Okay.
it was.
It's 2 points if
Yeah.
you want to
Reroll.
reroll
Yeah.
a dice.
But okay, so it's 23, which is pretty high. I'm sitting on a 16. So I do want to counter this. So let me see if I can. I'm going to pump a hero dice in here.
15, yeah.
Okay. 15. So I'm up to a 20. It's not enough. Let me pump another hero dice into that. Oh, nice.
Ooh.
So I am. That's a 29. I am winning.
Tower, do you have any hero dice?
Don't think so. He burned them all.
Wait. I have 2d8. That's all I got. Yeah, I have 2d8 left.
Well,
Okay.
Uh,
Well, you might want to use them because it's gonna hit you hard.
5, 4. So yeah, that'll put me down to 3 power points, and I'll roll those 2d8.
Just roll
So-
one of them. Just roll one, and then
I was going to roll
if it's
2,
enough,
but okay.
yeah, if it's enough, then you don't have to roll the second one.
Okay.
Oh,
Holy fuck!
You're at 31.
31.
I feel like I wonder if rolling the other one would do anything for me.
Nope, don't.
No, don't do
Make
anything
sure.
yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Okay.
pump in another D8, and I am sitting on a 32.
Now you can. It's up to you. You've got what? 2 or 3 points left. 2 left.
4.
No,
Yeah,
no, but you
we're
spent.
we're past
you
power
spent
points.
2.
We're past power points. We're into hero dice only now.
Yeah, hero dice. So I'm saying you should.
Yeah, I have one more.
You
Yeah.
have one more D8. So do you want to spend it right now and spend one of your power points to spend this last D8 that you have? And you'll be out. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Roll it.
There, give me 1 second because I'm adjusting my PowerPoints on my sheet. Okay.
So after you spend this one, you only have one left.
No, he won't. This is his last
Well,
one.
this is his last one.
He had 4. He spent
No,
one
he
at the
had
beginning.
No.
PowerPoints
Hero
are
dice,
done.
he had
We're
2.
done with PowerPoints. GOP.
No. I know, but you spend a power point to get a hero dice.
Oh no,
But
yeah, I see what
or
you're saying.
to use your hero dice. That's what I'm saying. He has
You're right.
one power
You're
point
right.
left.
Yes.
You're right.
No, DOP,
He
I
has
have
2.
like, yeah.
2.
No, now he has 1, I think. Now, after he spent that one.
I see what you mean.
Okay.
Thank
No,
you.
I have 2 left over GOP.
So, okay, well,
okay.
After
you've got
subtracting it.
whatever. You've got.
Let me
yeah.
ask a quick question. Did you spend a PowerPoint to make this an AoE, or did you just do a singular attack?
Singular attack.
Okay. So you are sitting on a
Roll the
39.
other. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ooh, it's getting tight.
Ooh.
Yes, I get it. All right.
Fuck.
Yes. So I spend that, and I spend a PowerPoint. I have literally 1 dice left. Oh well. I burned
I haven't
myself
rolled
out in
yet.
the first round of the first combat. Isn't that awesome? But it's going to be worth it though. Do your damage to yourself. So basically, I would have rather have had that on someone else, but it is what it is. I didn't put rebound to any. I didn't word it right, so it's just you. Therefore, you have a D12 stress on you.
Son of a dick.
Yeah, you're not happy. However, please remember the powers of Excalibur. Right? You're not in. I would have much rather put that D12 on one of these other guys. But whatever, it is what it is. But the cat successfully rebounds your attack. I am literally have a PowerPoint left, and the harlot is unscathed. And then we go to GOP and Puffin.
All right.
Okay, guys. Do your best.
What? I'm going to shoot at the cat because I don't like the look of his little cat eyes.
Okay.
So,
Let me
yeah.
bring
Just a
the cat
second.
up again.
A
Go ahead.
second again. please.
Yes.
Puffin, do you understand what's happening with the dice? Where they're getting their
Uh,
numbers from?
I believe so. How many hero dice do I have?
None.
None.
You get them
you
as
have
you
to earn.
go,
You have to
so it's
earn
like,
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll explain it kind of as
Yeah.
it
When it
pop up.
happens. Basically, anytime you roll the dice and you're more than 5 above what you needed, you get a hero
Mhm.
dice of the highest value of what you're rolling against. Right?
Okay.
So let's say you make a roll and you get a 10 or 15 above what you needed to get. That would result in 3 hero dice. That's how you get them. I did
Okay.
give you, because you're a high level warrior, I gave you 5 power points to start off, though. Power points are spent to add dice, re-roll dice, activate powers, things like that.
Okay.
Go ahead, GOP.
Okay. All right, so D10, 2D8, and 2D6 against the cat.
Okay.
Oh wow, I loved it. How it was just like it looked like it wasn't going to be a 1, and then just a 1.
Ah,
All right, so let's see. What do I have? Hmm, it's not
8
the
and
best,
7.
but
Shit.
it ain't gonna be enough.
Ain't gonna be enough.
And
Yeah.
I can't force the reroll, right, unless it's just defensive, right? That was the rule that you said, or what?
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. You can either right now you can spend power points if you'd like. I don't know if you how many. I know you have at least one. I
Yeah.
do pick up another 6-sider. Thank you very much, sir. I needed
Mhm.
that. You see, Puffin, he rolled a 1, so whatever
Mhm.
dice comes up a 1, I get it into my pool.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
Just
because we're
horrible.
at a very high end. Normally, when we're playing, I start with 2 6-siders. If things get escalate a little bit, like in the last mission, I get 2 6-siders, 2 8-siders, right? But
Mhm.
because we're into epic mode, I get 2 6-siders, 2 8-siders, and 2 10-siders is what I start with in my pool, right? And then I get when you guys roll 1. So he just gave me another 6-sider, which for me works like a PowerPoint. That's how it works.
Cool.
Anything bigger than a 6-sider, I can use as multiple PowerPoints or hero dice, depending on what I want to do with it. But that's how that
Um,
works. But
Okay.
as we stand right now, I'm winning. What do you do?
yeah, I would definitely add that 5, just because the D6, because honestly, it's like I'd rather have you burn up your the PowerPoint I just gave you, you know. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend a PowerPoint to add that 5, so my total is a 20.
Okay. I will not spend anything on it, nor will I try to counter it. I will take the damage.
Okay.
And you mechanically, I'll explain it, but you see the cat gets hit. What is we got a D8 effect here, right? The D8 effect hits it. Some tentacles go flying off. So do I want to interact that now? I'm going to wait. So it's sitting on a D8 stress. Now, what this means is, Puffin, that anyone else who attacks the cat from now on gets a D8 added to their pool because it has a D8 damage on it. Once you're at a D12 and you get hit again successfully, you're out and you're taking trauma.
Mm.
If the trauma dice gets up to a D12 as well, you're dead.
Okay.
Okay. So right now the cat is sitting on a D8 stress, and I'm going to leave it at that. Go ahead, Puffin. Your turn. Who are we going after
I'm.
here?
I got the 2 X's. I'm going after the harlot.
Okay. Now she,
Uh,
like I said, you see this face here, but it's just a large writhe of tentacles, and some cops are hanging or entwined amongst them as well. Go ahead.
I'm going. I'm going to use one of my effects
Hmm.
to reduce my social to a D4.
Hmm.
I'm going to hinder myself to reduce my mental to a D4 so I get a PowerPoint next, not that it really affects the roll, but just to have it next round.
Sure.
So
Add
I'm
it to your
rolling
total
four.
though. Make sure so you don't forget.
Okay, let me write it at the bottom. It's 5 plus 1. All right, and so that means I roll 4d12 plus 1d10. So I'm
Hmm.
going to roll that now. And that is a 22.
Dang,
Okay.
that's good. The D12 effect.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, D12 effect. So what we have here is a 22, so and a D12 effect. All right, so let me see. She gets a 10. Okay. She gets another 10. She gets her D12, which is basically her overall magic power. Plus, this is a defense, so she gets a D8 as well. So let me go ahead and remake my roll. And wow,
Ooh.
you get 2 power points. 2 power points. I'm
All
rolling
right.
very poorly. Good for you.
It's well. Wait till I roll. I roll crappy if I
Fair
get a
enough.
chance to.
I don't know that I don't. I'm not going to fight it. You lay into her with your axes. Boy, do you. You're going to pick up a hero dice here. I rolled a 6. You have a 22. So 6 away from 22 is 16. That means you get 3 12-siders.
Dang, that
Because
is really good.
that is because you get a hero dice equal to the highest dice that is in play, and it's a D12. So you get 3 10-sided hero dice. Now, what that means is a 12-sided hero dice. Sorry. When you make your roll, you have to make decisions at your roll, and I really should be a little stricter about it, to be honest with you. At your roll, before anything else happens, what power points you want to spend, right?
Yes, sir.
Once that's done, it's done. You can't spend any
Yes.
more power points unless it's
Right.
activating something. Hero dice can be played at any time. However, they cost a power point to use. Okay.
Okay. So,
So you have 3d12, 3 12-siders, right? Anyway,
mhm,
you lay into her. What's the damage here? So have your effect die that you're using is a d12. So
mhm.
instantly you put her on a 12. Now, if someone else can put a 12 on her, she's out, right? You put a serious level hurting on her. So why don't you describe it?
So basically, I see her, and she resembles the things in my nightmares, the
Mm.
stuff that I saw before everyone believed me, though they were, larger and crueler. So it basically sort of shocks a bit of a trauma into me, and I basically charge and stick both of those axes, basically like a baseball swing, but kind of sideways. So one in the mouth and one in the forehead.
Nice. And she lets out a screech as her tentacles arrive. Now, like I said, she's sitting on a D12. So anyone who makes a roll after gets to add that to their roll. But she's not dead yet. And it
Mm-hmm.
is her turn. She lets out a screech and she's indignant. How dare you? I am the servant of the master. She's going on and on and on. Those wounds you just put in as you kind of take a step back with your axes in your hand, they
Mm-hmm.
instantly seal, by the way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't take the stress away, just
Mm-hmm.
visually, because she's not really what she seems. But nevertheless, it's her attack. So what would I like to do? Um, hmm. Well, you just heard her. So you,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. She's going to use her. So I'm not going to attack. I'm going to use her. Well, she's going to do both because she's an AOE. So the special effect is coming at you particularly, and we'll deal with that in a second. I'm going to deal with the room first. So she gets a 10-sider. She didn't get that. She gets another 10-sider, and she gets her 12-sider. Okay. So the room takes this. Okay. And that involves everybody here, GOP, Tower, and Lady. All of you need to make defense rolls. The police are just screwed. Okay.
I would assume.
Yeah.
And what about our contacts?
You're paying attention. Yes. Your contact has had a tentacle rip through his chest, and he's bleeding out on the floor.
Oh, sucks to be him.
Well, kismet.
Okay, I'll roll my.
I'm glad you paid attention, though. You missed the
Yep.
cat, though. GOP.
Well, you know what? It was just a cat. Like, what's the cat gonna do? He's a cat.
It's never just a cat, GOP.
I
Never.
know, but you know.
They're
That's why he
cats.
likes
It's
dogs.
also
Right. However, for noticing that Palantine is mortally wounded, do take a PowerPoint, please.
Awesome.
Are
I
you
will-
saying there's no way I can throw a Tootsie Roll that turns into like a sponge pack into the hole to
No,
help him?
no,
Okay.
no. Yeah.
Can I hit him with painkillers or something to at least make it more comfortable as he
You already
dies?
had your turn.
Well, on your
just
when it
focus
comes
on the
back to you,
combat.
you could do something, but we'll wait for your turn. We'll do a GOP first. I'm going to keep the big banger, of course, because it makes more sense. I have a 15. You need a 16 or better, and you do so. So you're able to dodge out of the way of the tentacles. GOP lady.
I will use PowerPoint if necessary. If I have to
Well,
state that
if you have
beforehand.
to, make your roll first, though. Make your
Okay.
defense roll. Make it a defense.
Okay. Defense.
Do remember to add the D12 from her stress.
Oh yeah, almost forgot about that too.
Oh, I didn't even
Let's
add that. But
You
D12
succeeded.
and then
Yeah.
you also get a D12 from your shield ability. Don't forget
Well,
that.
no, she has to spend
I
power
have to
points to
activate.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't activate that after the fact though. You have to have that in your roll, I would assume.
Well, no, she could tell me right now I'm spending a PowerPoint to activate my shield. She could do that.
I would recommend.
Okay,
it.
and then add it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna spend a PowerPoint to activate my shield.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll. So that's an additional 2D12. You should be able to make it.
Yep. Here we go. No ones. No ones. Damn
That
it.
was the one on a D12.
Thank you.
Oof.
Thank you.
Well, you still. What did you roll? You rolled a.
I rolled a 15. So she needs 16 or better, and
15.
No, she doesn't have it.
I would say. Wait, how many PowerPoints do you have, lady?
Oh, I got 13 now. So
Oh, re-roll
What?
that one. For the love of God, re-roll the one.
Yeah, don't give me a D12. What are you doing? Reroll the one.
Yeah.
spending
re-roll that
another
D12.
PowerPoint for a reroll.
You gotta spend 2.
No, 2.
2. Okay, 2.
Yep.
So I'm
But
down
it's
to
worth
12
it to
now.
not give him a
No,
12.
12, 13.
You're
11.
so mean, GOP.
Well, I don't want to
Rolling
die.
the 12 starter.
Yep.
Maybe I'll get a 12, please.
Just the 12.
I got a 10.
That's good.
So
That's
adding
really
the 10
you-
and the 9 is a 19.
You succeed.
right?
Tower, please make your defense roll.
You should have also
Alright.
got a D12 hero dice from that, by the way, lady.
Okay, 2d10.
Yeah, get a D12 hero dice. That's true. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep, 2d10, 3d8.
And a D12.
Yeah, I know. 1 sec. Oh yeah, I think the Excalibur did that. Fuck.
Yeah, you
D12.
really need to read your
Okay.
character. That Excalibur does a lot of stuff, dude.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't have the sheet fully together.
Wow.
'Cause
That's a
I-
shit roll.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At
Well, you
least
are
there's
roll-
no fucking ones.
You can
Right.
contest it because you are rolling defense.
You can.
Yeah, can I re-roll?
Yeah, you really should. That's better.
No PowerPoint for you. Okay. And you succeed.
But wait, yours was a 15, right? He got a 20, so you also get a D12.
D12 hero
Hero
dice for
dice.
you. Okay. You guys are able to dodge out of the room. To be fair, she is in pain and distracted. Thus, the D12 stress die for you. However, the room itself, the building, is structurally unsound now. And you don't know if there's anything alive in this room other than you. Okay. The wall to the hallway is gone. You can see the hallway is now part of the room, right? Rubble everywhere. There's dead, ripped, torn apart, and shredded police all over the place. Palantine gets hit again. And he doesn't look good. Doesn't look, but since GOP paid attention, you see this. She's not happy, of course. But just to bring it up for everyone to see, that was her AOE that she gets every round. Normally, I would have Puffin's character make that roll too, but I'm not because she is focusing on him, right? Directly, and he doesn't have to deal with that attack. He has to deal with another one. So this is the way this works, Puffin. She has a special power, SFX, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's excessively powerful because there's zero penalty to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 5d10, and you're
Okay.
going to roll a defense. If I win,
Mm-hmm.
you are out of the combat. And every
Okay.
round that the combat goes, you take a stress. Now,
Okay.
luckily you are a regenerator, so you can survive it no matter what. However, this would take
Mm-hmm.
you out of the combat if you fail. Okay,
Okay.
it's very simple. I have 5d10, and same as before, I'll take the two highest, and you have to beat it. So you first of all, you get a
Oh,
PowerPoint. So take that. You get
Two
two
PowerPoints.
PowerPoints.
ew.
Um, you know what? No. I'll give you one PowerPoint. I'm going to re-roll one of those.
Okay.
So let me do that. You gain a PowerPoint though.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Please do not roll another one, you bastard. These dice are hating me today. Okay, better. Alrighty. I'm sitting on. It's pretty easy. That's a 13.
Okay. So I get a D12
Hmm.
for my fight, a D12 for her wound. Do I get to add my move to this?
No, no. You're adding your physical, your distinction, and those two things you just mentioned.
Okay, so my
Armor, if you have it.
physical distinction and my actual physical are both D10, so I get.
There you go.
So you also would add your fight too, because that's a part of your defensive abilities.
It is.
Yeah, I put that in there. My fight's one of the D12s, her wound's a D12, and then my aspects are both D10s. So.
Yep. So 2d10,
Oh wait, and
2d12.
did you? Oh no, they should still be because you still had those effects, right? That bumped them up to 12s. So
I didn't use the one that gave her a D6, just one of them. So I have 3 D12 and 1 D10.
yeah, that should still be working. So you're
Yeah,
still
it's
good.
for the scene,
Until,
by the way.
yeah, it's until the battle's over with.
Oh man,
23.
dang!
None of that, he says. None of that. I'm rolling so piss poor. So I got a 13. That is a 23. Jesus, you pick up 2 more 12-sided hero dice. But you know what? It's all right. You're going to need them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured.
You're going to need them.
Yes, sir.
She's rolling bad, dude. But that's all right. That's all right. She's not.
I
She's a
mean,
lieutenant. So
to be fair, I am kind of thankful because, hey, we had this ancient warrior with us, and if I just started out rolling abysmal, it'd be like, well, thanks a lot, guys.
right.
She stayed in the ground.
Hello,
Grandpa.
AS. I don't remember AS ever being in chat before. AS Burnett? Is that how you say it?
Welcome.
Let me check.
Welcome. Hey, how you doing?
A.S. Burnett. Yeah, no, it's brunette, by the way.
Brunette.
But yeah, no, I'm saying nice. Sheldon's in here. Hey, we got Dave. We got a 3-year-old dragon as well. Hey, nice. Sorry, guys. Ladies in charge of the chat because I'm kind
I
of
can't
busy.
always watch it too.
No, that's
I don't
fine,
have a
but
fourth monitor.
I'm always on the
Somebody
other
send me a
side.
fourth.
So
Someone send me a fourth monitor, and we can take care of that.
I
well,
only have
you do realize, lady, you can pop the chat out and put it anywhere on your screen you want, right?
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, let me demonstrate.
Ah,
All right, so you go to YouTube, all right? You go over to the chat, you click up on top, you go to see 3 dots. You click on those 3 dots, and it's going to offer you several options. One of those options is pop out the chat. Pop out.
okay.
Right? So you just go to the chat on YouTube, click the 3 dots at the top, and it's going to give you a pop out. It'll bring that chat out, and you can put it on any level you want and put it on your screen.
Okay, fine. I got it now.
Good. Unfortunately, I can't do that easily because I'm several pages back in regards to YouTube. But nevertheless, it is your turn, lady.
Remember to
Okay,
add
let
the
me see where I
D12.
put something. Yeah, don't forget the D12. Right.
Yeah, she does have a detailed stress on her. The
Is
cat
she
has
still
a
alive?
D8. She is, yeah, she's alive.
Oh, I'm going to use the kinetics and her D12 stress. My shield is up, but it doesn't count. Let's another PowerPoint because I'm using my kinetics for damage. So I'm hitting her with kinetics.
Sure, I would.
Yeah. So that's get my character sheet back up, please. Okay, let's see. So that's a D10. And then my fight is D8.
I don't think fight would be. It'd probably be a cult would make more sense for this if you're using.
Okay, well, it's still a D8. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. And I already did the D12. Uh, make sure I put her down. Add a D12 from the hero die pool.
You don't need to do that yet.
Don't need to do that.
No,
Okay,
you
let me
don't
try.
ever
Don't
use
throw that
hero
out
dice
yet.
until there's no
Okay.
other options. Lady, you need your mental, your distinction, your occult, and your D12 from the TK that you have, plus an additional D12 from her stress. So you should have 5 dice. Your mental, your distinction, your occult, which is I know that's a D8, and 2D12. So we got a D8, 2D12, and 2 dice that I don't know. Your mental and your distinction. Okay. There we go. No, 5
One more
dice,
dice,
lady.
lady.
5 dice. Your
What am
mental ability, your distinction ability, your occult ability, which is a D8, and 2D12. So D8, 2D12, and whatever your physical and distinction are. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. So we got well, that's a pretty good roll. That's a 20. No, we don't want to do that. We want to do a
That's a
19 because
19.
we want to kill her. We want at least want to take her out. She's not a minion, so you won't kill her like that. However, she does get a defense. So her defense is 1, 2, one of those, and one of these. So, okay. I
Are you
got
going to re-roll the one?
I got no. I'm not going to re-roll it. You get a
Okay.
PowerPoint, and you succeed. I have no power. I have nothing left, so I can't do anything about it anyway. So you hit her and you KO her. You knock her out. So go ahead and describe how you do that.
I was specifically going for the top of the head, just like big fist pounding on the top of her head where he's done all the damage.
Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah.
The thing with her is being a disciple of Sidon. They are morphers, polymorphers. So it's not really her head,
I
right?
know, but
But whatever. You do put damage on enough. You see this black ichor flowing out of various tentacles and parts of the center of the mass, and she falls to the ground in a writhing lump. Top of the round, Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat ain't stupid. Kitty Cat sees what's going on. The Kitty Cat is way, 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 way faster than everybody here. Double faster than everybody here, actually. And the Kitty Cat, you see, well, you hardly see it, actually. But it moves from where it is, floating in the air, to intermingling with the tentacled mass on the ground in an oddly sexual and creepy way.
to go there.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
the kitty cat goes, meow, and they disappear.
Jump on top of the magic user and try to save his life.
Which magic user?
The good-looking one, not old Broody over there. Not Tyler's character.
What are you talking about here? You
She's
talking about the
talking about trying to save-
librarian?
The librarian.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, a Palin. Okay, so you run over to help him. There's absolute carnage in this room. she didn't do much, but she put her hurting on a couple of you anyway. But both of you guys will be healed within literally a few minutes. So it was kind of, other than killing lots of cops, but maybe that wasn't even her purpose. Palatine is dead, effectively.
Oh,
However, he does have a last breath. And Max is the one that went over to him. So you're the one who hears this. And this is what he says to you. He says, "You must find Eudora. But..." And he dies.
nobody has a commune with dead power, I'm assuming.
No, unfortunately. So Palatine is dead. And unfortunate, very unfortunate. But if you, as you guys are, ladies over there, trying to do what she can and looking around, because he is kind of important, because he's the one that was supposed to lead you to Sidon, right? And he has a lot more holes in him than he should.
So he probably had issues even before.
Was targeting him specifically.
Oh,
The tracker of her master. Of course not.
Yes. Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's probably the only reason why my character's still alive. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna look at the axe and basically say, at least he gets to join the battle.
True. Alrighty then. So, let me bring us
Recording
back.
his last words back onto the
Right.
computer.
He said, basically, you must find Eudora, but and then
trying to find out who Eudora is, doing all the little things it does.
Oh, there's just tons of things pop up. You have no clue. You're a bit of a loss. Nevertheless, we are going to end it there. Boy, did that time fly. 10, 11, yeah, it's 3 hours. And we'll pick it up next week, but that's okay. Like I said, we are in kind of the home stretch here. We need to deal with Sidon, then they need to gather a team, and then they need to face Raoul. So that's kind of where we are. We are on a clock. This was day 1, and day 1 is done. So we have 108 days to get this done before Tower's character must sacrifice an innocent or die himself. Therefore, we're going to leave it there. Any questions from anybody?
My character just mentions that the harlot. Man, that's a terrible boob job. That's all. That's all he
Okay,
says.
I'm glad you're happy about that.
I had to say it. I was
yeah.
holding it back.
But of course, you guys defeated her. You're going to get full experience points and everything like that. But I just feel like she needs to be reoccurring.
No,
You're telling me? Oh my god! You're telling me that?
she's
Okay,
bad enough as it is.
Oh, I'm going to make her worse every time we see her.
Yeah, you should.
You're telling me that the harlot will just randomly appear with Octopussy, kick our ass, and then toodaloo the fuck out of there?
Yes. That's exactly.
Son of a
That's what he
bitch.
said.
Welcome to Role Playing Tower,
Yep.
the reoccurring villain. I introduced her day 1 because I knew I was going to put Sidon of Crete in here somewhere at some point. I didn't know where at that time. I had a general idea, but that's why I connected her to that, because I wanted her to be reoccurring, right? And those are always fun, because the next time you see her, you'll recognize her quicker. Oh my God! Right? But nevertheless, those are always fun, part of role playing. But everybody takes 6 experience points for today, 3 for the battle and 3 for the overall situation. And would anyone like to argue that they deserve more?
I feel that I deserve more because I rolled an extremely high number. I rolled 2 d8s perfectly, and then I still lost.
I think Puffin, his high rolls, he deserves an extra one. I vote Puffin.
Yeah, too.
All righty.
I was able to make an impossible roll to figure out what kind of tea he wanted. Does that count for anything?
It wasn't
No.
impossible. It was only a 15.
It was only 15. It wasn't difficult at all. It was quite easy, actually. So no tower. But two of the four have voted for Puffin. Tower has voted for himself. Puffin, would you like to take a vote?
Well,
I
some bullets
will.
tower to make a stalemate.
I will vote for myself.
There you go. Smart man.
All right.
Smart man. So take 7 instead of 6. All right. Now, of course, the way this game works, anytime you have a downtime break, which the night would be that, you can spend your experience points. If we were in a situation where we had to cut battle and then we were coming right back to a battle, you can't do that. But in this situation, you can. So you guys can spend your points, and we will pick it up next week, and we'll finish case file 7. I'm pretty sure we'll finish it next week, because kind of thinking case file 8 or maybe 9 is going to be the end of this campaign storyline, because we are heading toward Raul. That's the whole point. But other than that, thank you all very much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Had a lot of people in here today. That's cool. This is certainly a more niche thing than the other stuff we do. But happy to have you. Do keep in mind we have Skinny coming in this Thursday from Otis with Otisstein 3. He's keep putting those comics out, and he's having success. So good for Skinny. We love having him back. Come and check out the Drawing Recorder Ultimate Edition, Otisstein Edition. And of course, come back on Sunday for Night Owls, where we will talk about all of the silly debauchery of the entertainment world. And boy, do we have shit to talk about! My God, what a week! What a week, dude. And it's only, what is this, Wednesday for me?
Yep, Tuesday for us. So yeah, it's
My goodness, dude. So we'll have some fun with that and a laugh, of course, which we always do. Other than that, thank you, and later.
Good
Bye.
night.